All right, Lunger. Let's do it. No. 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 Excuses, excuses. All right. Let's do it. Hi. Order 42, Rob. This is the show. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. And we've got Ricky, who apparently has things to do tonight. So he may not be here very long. So didn't unmute. If you have anything to say to Ricky, you might want to do it now. So there you go. And of course, we've got Jeff here, Cosma, Darth Octavius, for those of you who are not aware, and Phil Holland. Welcome. Welcome. What did the Confederate soldiers use to eat off of? Silverware. What did they use to drink with? Cups. Dixie cups. That's good. And yeah, The Last of Us, man, it keeps going. It keeps surprising. I mean, I'll be honest, this last episode was good. It was fine. But it was also, there was a lot of it where it was like, yeah, I've kind of seen stuff like this before. But the show is about Joel and Ellie, and I think it's done really well. So I'm liking it. Oh, and I don't know if you guys have been. Look, if you don't watch them, it's not a big deal. Seriously, it's it's something fun I'm doing, and if you guys want to watch, cool. But I started the shorts. I don't know if you saw that. The shorts with the the movie the movie big thing and all the big and the boxes. So hopefully you're enjoying that. I'm enjoying going through it. They are taking a little bit of time, a little more time than I expected because of the way I have to edit them. Um, but yeah, I hope you like them. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I'm gonna. Here's the truth. I want them to be. I want them. I'm saying. Yes, I want them. I want them to get better. I want to get better at doing them, but I'm not gonna stop doing them. I mean, if you have suggestions, hey, you should try this. You should put something up here. You should do whatever. If you have suggestions like that, feel free. I mean, hey, I just want to make them better. But I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and it's fun to go through the trailers as well and see, okay, what are the things that, because I'm basically taking the trailers and editing them down to what are some of the favorite moments from the trailer that I can only put it like 15 seconds in. So it's kind of fun. It's actually, it's a different style of video. So anyway, I'll stop talking about that. That Ricky is a doucher. Okay. Ricky. Those jokes from Ellie in What the Pun Volume 2, which she read from this week, I am happy. Yes. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I don't know, I'm not dropping any frames, right? What do you call it? My preview is all like jumping and skipping. So I'm hoping everything's cool. And Bucho is here as well. Bucho, welcome. And, I got a message from a friend of ours. His name's Jerry. I'm just going to play it. And, yeah, it's a short message, but I thought it was kind of funny. So here we go.
Okay, so I just got off the phone with the help desk in my company. I was on the phone for like 45 minutes, and he asked me, "So, is there anything else I can do for you?" And I said, "Well, not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock." And he goes, "Okay." And I said, "It's a Star Wars quote." And he goes, "Okay, have a nice day."
And there it is. That's Jerry. That's Jerry. If you remember, last week I pointed you over to Jerry's jokes and stuff like that. Jokes. His music, Jerry Markham, available on all the streaming services now. So, he's funny. He's a funny guy, but he's also, he's also really, really talented musician. So, I mean, if you want to, check him out. So yeah. Jokes, not Jones, damn autocorrect. I know we've had some definitely some weird autocorrect issues between me, Brian, and Jerry in the last couple of days. It's been kind of funny. And Noir is here. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Apologies, Rob. Not sure if you have played the Last of Us games. Assumed you have. What the Pun book appears and Ellie reads puns to you at random points. I did not realize that. I didn't play the games. I watched a playthrough, a let's play, because the first one is when I was sick and I didn't have the energy to even sit up. Look, I was going through recovery, all the abdominal stuff. But yeah, so I actually watched the entire first game being played by Jacksepticeye. He's one of the ways that I found him was watching his replay. And then of course, the second one, since I hadn't played the first one, I was like, I'll just watch Jacksepticeye play the second one. So I've just watched the games and the DLCs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, your live streams help me unwind. Thank you, Mr. Non-ASMR movie guy. Hey, I appreciate that. And then, yeah, of course. I mean, what else would I be doing on a Tuesday night? I don't know. Probably doing more live things or the short things. I'm actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it. Uh, it is challenging, but I am actually enjoying it. And Carbonite Dreams, welcome. Good to see you, sir. Apologies, Rob. Not. Oh yeah. I already read that. Yes. And we will always be together in Carbonite Dreams. Fapping? No. I mean, I'm not old, but it's one of those things where, yeah, nah. I'd be probably doing something constructive. What did the nut say after it sneezed? Cashew. Look, I like a good dad joke. I'm just saying. I like a good dad joke. So, that's good. That's good. Now, I don't know, we didn't actually talk about this on stream, but I in the last couple of weeks was looking at some like some of the maybe updated more of the upcoming Lego sets coming. Nobody, and there was some interesting ones, but one in particular caught my eye or ear because I was listening, and I was like, "Ooh, oh!" When they announced that, I'll be all over it. Well, they did, and I want to thank good old Wraith. He's not here tonight that I can see, but thank you to Wraith for bringing it to my attention that they actually put it up on the Lego site, and here we go. Rivendell. $499. 6,167 pieces. Now look at those. I mean, look at those shingles. Those shingles probably are, I would guess, 300 pieces. Yeah. I love it. I think it's really, really cool. And yes, we have no room for it either, but I will make room for this because it is awesome. I really, really love the way that this is designed, the way it looks, everything about it. Look at this. Look at that. It's even got an accurate to the movie shards of Narsil. I mean, come on. Come on. Who doesn't want that? I just love it. I love it. I mean, that's just a random elf, two random elves. But all of the fellowship is there. Elrond is there. There's Bilbo. Come on, man. I gotta get this, right? I mean, look, I'm a Tolkien fiend. Of course I gotta get this. It's beautiful. And that's about how big it is. I mean, I don't know how big that woman is. That woman could be 8 feet tall. In which case, yeah. But yeah, there you go. Look, I'm excited. I am excited for that. Ted Milich, welcome. Good to see you. What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated. How big and will it fit in your house? Oh yeah, it'll fit. $4.99. I don't know about. It's not cheap. It's not exactly cheap, but that does look rather large. I mean, look at how big that is. I'm gonna find a place for it. In fact, it might go right there, which you can't see anymore. But it's this is where the records are, and the record player that is still not working. I still got to fix that. But yeah, I think it could go right there. I don't know. We'll find a place because it's too good. It's too good. Oh, well, I'm definitely buying it. I told April. I showed it to her and I said, "Look, I think this thing is really cool." And I said, "If you don't want it, I'm buying it. I'm buying it." I mean, there you go. Here's the shot of just the figures. So again, 2 random elves. You got Elrond, which you can't see my cursor. Gandalf, Bilbo, Frodo, Sam, Merry. Actually, that's Pippin, then Merry, then Boromir, Legolas, Aragorn, Arwen, Gimli, and another random dwarf. Come on now. Come on. Who doesn't want that? I mean, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, who doesn't look at that and go, okay, that's really cool? Come on. So, the leaves on the tree, yes. Yeah. And that's one of the things like that Titanic set. When I bought it, which it's actually, I guess it was probably 3 or 4 months ago, Lego raised the prices of a bunch of their sort of high dollar sets. So I bought the Millennium Falcon and the Star Destroyer. I'm sorry, the Millennium Falcon and the AT-AT, or AT-AT if you want to get technical. Okay, bought those for $7.99 each. They are now $8.49 or $8.59. I can't remember what. And then I saw the Titanic. We got that one for $6.99. It's $7.59 now. So yeah, it's the prices of those have gone way up. Now again, you have to think. You have to look at this in a different kind of way. We bought those during what do you call it? During shutdown. Didn't have the money. Well, we had the money, but we didn't have the ability to get out and go do things, go to for a nice dinner, movie, whatever. We didn't have the money to do that. So this was a way for us to get, there's basically cheap dates. Ways for us to sit there, spend our time, be together, do things together. It really is cheap when you look at it that way. It seriously is. For the amount of time that it takes to put these together, it's fun and it's cheap and it's something that we love to do together. So, because I mean, just thinking about that, that's $2,300 in Legos in 3 sets. That's a lot. But again, it takes us a long time to put them together. We have a good time. It's fun. So anyway, hello, my name is Rob and I'm a Tolkien addict. I mean, dude. And that's the thing. You can't see. That is all Tolkien right there. And there's another one that is packed. There are so many books up there. It's stupid. I have so many copies of The Hobbit. It's dumb. And it's all because I wanted that and kept wanting to find that. So I kept buying them, hoping that I would get a different cover. And I finally found it. I finally found it. But yeah, I spent way so much money on Tolkien stuff. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Boromir needs arrows sticking out of him. Well, I mean, this is Rivendell. You know, when they leave Rivendell, everybody's still whole. You know, this is basically a snapshot of that time period. You know, in the middle of Fellowship of the Ring, they all get to Rivendell. They're talking with Elrond. I mean, it fits. It fits. It would be funny though if there were arrows sticking out of, or like a different chess piece, I guess, to where there were like cartoon arrows. You know, that would be kind of. I wouldn't put it past some of these people that like to modify their Lego. I wouldn't put it past them for them to do something like that. The Fellowship. I mean, yeah, yeah. I just think that thing's cool, man. Same for me with Star Wars. I've probably got a couple of $1,000 invested in toys and books. And man, I've got, it's weird how I never really thought about how much money I've spent on what really amounts to just decoration until I quit my job and was looking for things to monetize so I could quit my job to work on the movie, right? And I was looking at all the stuff I have and I'm like, okay, I could probably sell that for such and such. I could probably sell that for such and such. Looking at all the vape stuff I have, there's way too much. I mean, when you're kind of doing 5 here, 10 there, 30 here, it's not that big of a deal. But man, it gets nuts. It gets nuts. And I mean, and books and toys and it's crazy. It's crazy.
What
Kyle,
N64 game is that on the shelf? A Zelda, right? It's blurry. I had no idea a new Ant-Man was out. I really liked the first two. They were goofy yet cool in all the right ways.
Kyle, thank you so much for that $10. I believe that's a super chat. Yeah, it has to be a super chat because it came in through. Yeah. Thank you for that so much. This is a Japanese copy of Ocarina of Time. And the reason that there are no other games present here. Of course, I've got my Link to the Past link here. But the reason that I have this is because when I first met Woodamus Jones, Wood Hawker, when I first met him, went to his house to meet him. Me and Billy were there we were going to talk movie stuff and all this. This was probably September, October 2019. The first thing Wood did when I was about to leave, or I said the first thing, within minutes of knowing me, he gave me a bunch of stuff. He gave me, because I was sitting there looking at his Zelda shrine, and I'm like, dude, there's so much stuff, and I mean, I'm a big Zelda fan, right? I always have been ever since the first Legend of Zelda, NES, right? 1986, big fan. And he was just, I mean, he just has this. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's got this whole like shelf of Zelda stuff. I mean, the what do you call these? The first four figures. You can see that, right? You can see my Zelda down here. Well, you know the ones that light up, and I'm sitting there looking. This is before I got a bunch of this stuff, and I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, wow. And he goes, hey, do you collect games? I said, I mean, not really. And he goes, do you want a Japanese copy of the N64 Ocarina of Time? And I'm like, I mean, yeah. He goes, I got an extra one. Like, yeah, sure. I'll take that. So it's one of those things that it's got a place of almost honor. You know what I mean? Up here. There's a lot of weird, goofy stuff here, like little things that mean something, right? So there's the Joker that I bought from that guy at the whatever thing that was. What am I think? Convention. Yeah. And I just love the Joker, and it's the Joker, man. It's freaking awesome. And these are the dice. So Adventures in Game Chasing, when toward the end of the film, there's a character that throws some dice on the ground. I'm the one that threw the dice on the ground. And when we were going to leave, I picked the dice up and put it in my pocket, was going to give it to Billy, and then forgot. That's the actual dice used in the movie. That's a thing. There's a card signed by Danny Trejo, given to me by Yoshi Vu, right? I mean, there's all kinds of little, and again, it's some of it means stuff and some of it doesn't, but it's, I honestly think that meeting Wood was one of those things that it was the first time where I was like, holy crap, I'm in another world here. I didn't even know at the time, I didn't know that Wood and Billy knew each other. I'd never seen Wood on the Game Chasers. I just knew Wood from his Switch videos. So to meet him was really, really cool. And that's why it's up there. Because I still think it's cool that he's so giving. He also gave me a brand new Satisfy. Yeah. He said, you're a big Switch fan? I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I watch your videos. Yeah, I'm a big Switch fan. He gave me that. he's just a very giving person, and I just like the guy, and I totally understand why he moved to Pennsylvania, wherever he lives there now. I totally get it. But I miss him. I miss seeing him and running into him, and him helping out with the movie, and just getting to talk with him, not as a YouTuber, but just as a person. I miss it. Anyway. Yeah. So that answers your question, hopefully. But thank you again, Kyle, for that. That's just, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Booty, sell the die on eBay for $1 million. Not a chance. Not a chance. I have other stuff. I guess screen used. But it's, yeah, no. None of that will ever be sold. And again, I didn't do it for money or for whatever. I did it because I wanted to help my friend make a movie. You know what I mean? And now it's like, I just want to make more movies. So if we can work together and make more movies, we'll do that. I got something in my eye. Oh, no. Oh, dude, that sucks. I'm not crying. Don't touch it. Okay. It's all got a story, not just bought at the local GameStop. Yeah. And I think that's the best stuff. You know? The stuff that means something. It's just like I have oh God, what's his name? I'm going blank now that I just looked at it. My Retro Life. Tyler gave me this off of his table. He said, "Hey, you like Star Wars, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm Star Wars." I think I was wearing a Star Wars shirt, like I am now. And he's like, "You want that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I just think it's, it's cool. Do I have a use for this? Do I have children? No. But I think it's funny. And it's one of those things. It's a constant reminder of, the people that I've met, the journey that I've been on. It's cool. That's what this room is about. It's like there's a journey here. In a way. Kind of. Yeah. GameStop is one of those places where I don't know why my browser is giving me the old, "Hey, this is taking up a lot of space and a lot of room." And Nightbot is here, of course. Nightbot, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. It really does. I mean, it does. But yeah, I like GameStop a lot. I just honestly haven't had a whole lot of time for gaming lately. I have a whole list of games that I've either purchased or is on the, like, hey, I need to play this. I want to play this. Haven't played anything. Now, things will get different. I want to finish my script this month because Tears of the Kingdom is coming. I know I've got a few months, but I want to be able to devote some time to Tears of the Kingdom. Probably be streaming it. Just saying it. I'm probably streaming it. And hopefully there are no controversies surrounding that game, so I can just play the game in peace. Yes. We have a franchise called Game in the UK. That's descriptive. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of my friends are streaming Hogwarts Legacy. I don't think boycotting something is helpful. What you can do is speak with your dollars, right? with your own dollars. Like the old days, before Twitter, before the internet. If you didn't like something, you just didn't buy it. And that's the way it is. And shaming people that have bought it, I don't see the point. I don't see the point. And that, like, what are you, at this point, what are you furthering? You're furthering your own visibility, I guess. But what you've done is basically made the game into like this super, like everybody's playing it and everybody's talking about it. So that's just free publicity for the game. So I don't know. Just, if you don't like something, don't watch it or don't play it or don't buy it. Don't, whatever. Just, yeah. There you go. But anyway, there you go. It's just how I feel. I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong. I'm like, I'm a very live and let live kind of thing. That's how I look at it. But hey. Let's see. What Ninjinzu Games, welcome. Good to see you. I'm behind the times. What's going on with this game? It's the whole J.K. Rowling thing. Okay? She's made some statements that has angered a lot of people. I don't want to go into it. If you're interested, just search for J.K. Rowling controversy. And because it's Hogwarts related, so J.K. Rowling related, people are going after her, or people are going after the game, and now they're going after people on Twitch for streaming it, and it's just like, again, I kind of feel like you need to just realize that there's just some things that you're not going to be able to control. And I feel like everybody should just go outside, take a walk and look at a bird. Look at a bird, man. That's really what you should do. Go outside, take a walk, look at a bird, and realize that there's a lot of ways that you can be angry in this world, and it's just, why invent things to be angry about? I don't know. Well, I don't agree with what she said. Okay, then don't listen to her. Done. I just don't get it. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to go into the. I'm not one of those people that I don't like talking about that stuff because it just bums me out. But look, it's a thing. Instead of dropping $70 on the game, one could donate to a charity, perhaps. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. But there's going to be, you're not going to be able to convince everybody. It's just, that's a thing. And I just feel like, take a breath. Go outside. Look at the trees, man. Look at all the trees. Maybe touch a duck. Not inappropriately. But, pet a dog. Anyway, sorry. Dark and Darker playtest is out, and it's too darn good. I have seen gameplay of that, and I'm really confused by it because it looks really slow. Like, the you know what I mean? The swinging looks crazy slow. And I'm like, why? Why is it so slow? It just looks really... I don't know enough about the game. I didn't watch enough of it. But anyway. Don't worry about the stuff surrounding it. There's also controversy around Atomic Heart because it's a Russian developer. I know. And it's... Well, I didn't know that. But it's just... Again, you can... The way that I'm looking at it is you can... And there's gonna be people that don't agree with me on this. But I feel like in a lot of ways, what you can do is concentrate on what you can affect. Concentrate on the things that you can do positively. Let's put some positivity into the world. And that's what I try to do. Some people don't like that. They don't appreciate that. And that's fine. But I'm so tired. I'm so done with being negative all the time. I just don't want to live like that. Well, see, and Ricky, you can have your wrong opinions or you can like what you want, but you're wrong. All that kind of stuff. It's gatekeeping. It's the same sort of attitude that some of this toxic fandom that we've talked about many times on the show. It's and this is the opposite of fandom, right? It's a lot of that, and it's just hey, yeah. They are attacking the game over comments made years ago by the person that created it, not the developers, the person that created it. Yes. I'll be playing it. Not sorry about that. No one tells me what to do. Bought it on Steam and get it at the 10th. I'm thinking it's the 10th. I've been playing it, and the combat is so good. I pet the cat in the game. That's right, there are cats. Dude, the gameplay is just heavy because of the metal swords, but it's super easy to get into. Okay. There's a good video about how the developers are making it as Russian propaganda and are in cahoots with the government there. Interesting. See, I don't know anything about Atomic Heart. Femdom is better than toxic fandom? I don't know what that is. I'm afraid to look it up because I'm streaming. And I don't want don't want anything crazy to come up. Yep. Phil's got it. Phil's got it there. And it's just, yeah, don't look it up on stream. Fembots. I remember Fembots from Austin Powers. But what's weird is, okay, so I've been doing this thing where I'm keeping track of every movie I watch, and I realized, oh my gosh, I went like a week without watching a movie. It was weird. But anyway, I'm keeping track of all the movies I'm watching. And one of the movies that I'd never seen, and it was one of those movies I always wanted to see, never saw it for whatever reason, 1985, Clue. I mean, I'm looking at the cast and I'm like, holy crap, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, Madeline Kahn, Tim Curry. Dude, this movie's like, holy crap. This is really good. And then there's some stuff where I'm like, wow, that would not go over well today. But look, I really, really enjoyed that movie. I had a good time. Is it great? No. But there's a lot of detail that's really, really fun. And I went through the trivia, the trivia. And there was like people that were saying, well, this wouldn't have worked because this happened and this happened. And I'm like, just have a good time. And some of those movies are just like that. They're just, if you really sit and think about it, they don't 100% work. It's just about it's about the ride. And the whole idea behind that movie, it was one of the things that always really intrigued me about Clue, is that when it came out in theaters, there were theaters labeled theaters, or print A, print B, and print C, which all had different endings. So it's kind of a gimmick, right? Where it's like they were like, let's make it where people would want to go see, all the different endings. And I'm sure some people did that, but a lot of people were like, why do I need to do that? Now, every home release, to my knowledge, has contained all three endings of the movie, but that's how it was released in theaters, which I think is kind of neat. I just thought, it was one of those things that it always intrigued me. I'm like, so wait a minute, if you go to this movie, you're going to see a different ending than the people that go to this theater? That's crazy. Of course, we only had 2 theaters around us, I think, at the time, and only one of them was playing it. So anyway, I just really enjoyed it. And Colleen Camp, I mean, what the heck? It was like, bleh. Anyway. But no, Tim Curry was so freaking good at it. So funny. Like, it made me realize how much I wish that we got more Tim Curry. Like, Tim Curry is so good. He's so funny. His delivery's great. I love his voice. It's just great. It's just great stuff. Not this wholesome stream. Phil, I'm with you. I'm with you. We're done with it. We're done with it. Clue is so good. Been a while since I've seen it. It like I said, I'd never seen it, and I got to see it in HD, which was nice. It was in stereo only, which is kind of a bummer, but hey, it's on Paramount Plus right now. If you want to watch it, if you have Paramount Plus, which now I have to figure out something about that. But anyway, I think it's about to renew, and I don't know if we're going to renew. I think we're probably going to renew because when I was on that show with Robert Meyer Burnett, name drop, but he was going on and on about how good Picard season 3 is. And April is a huge Star Trek fan. So, yeah. I was just watching it the other day at work. Yeah, Clue is great. Tim Curry is in my top 3 Currys. I mean, it's high praise. Clue is on my backlog. Need to watch it. It was fun. It was, again, don't expect too much, but especially if you were alive and aware of some of the movies in that era, you're like, holy crap, this cast is stacked. More ways than one. But like seriously, like a lot of fun actors. Putting them together, I really enjoyed it. Tim's hanging in there after his stroke. Sad to see him that way, but he's still with us. Yeah. Yeah, Tim Curry. I remember hearing about it, but no, Ricky. I see that. I saw it. And Nightbot agrees with me. Oh, apparently Nightbot deleted all... Okay. It basically deleted all of your messages, Ricky. Too many caps, I think. Too many caps. That's kind of funny. Let me see. What did you say here? Yeah, years ago now. Yeah. I should give Conan the Barbarian a watch. I know. I should probably... Is that on Paramount Plus too? Stop spamming symbols. Yeah. Too many periods. That's probably what it was. I know what movies you should give a watch. I know. Dude, I know exactly what you were going to say. And no. I've tried, and I'm sorry, the Fast and Furious movies just are not for me. They're just not for me. And that is pretty funny that... I mean, Nightbot has been pretty quiet ever since I got to YouTube. And Ricky just pushed too many buttons too quickly. But let's talk about, in fact, Kyle brought it up earlier. Let's talk about the first reactions from Ant-Man, Quantumania. They're pretty good. Now, I mean, of course, a lot of these you might say, oh, well, of course, they got to see the movie for free. But there's some people in here that, I mean, you can read it. It's awesome. Phase 5 has begun. This is Eric Davis. The new Ant-Man movie is like a psychedelic roller coaster full of frightening and hilarious oddities, plus one very menacing Kang. Big Star Wars vibes. Meets the MCU at its freakiest and most inventive. MODOK is a riot, but Jonathan Majors conquers. Love the ride. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Now, of course, this, from what I hear, Eric Davis works at Fandango, so of course his job is to sell movies, so take that for what you will. Ant-Man Quantumania is the best of the trilogy. Higher stakes, dangers, and repercussions. It also got one of the best MCU villains in Kang. As soon as Jonathan I thought it was Majors. As soon as Jonathan Majors comes in, it's his show. Kang is a scary, lean, mean, multiverse big baddie. Also, two cool post-credit scenes. Now, let me see if there's... There we go. Here's one that's it's definitely Marvel's weirdest movie yet, but that's a good thing. It leans hard into the sci-fi side of the MCU, taking lots of wild swings. Not everything lands, but it's funny, inventive, and a good time. An enjoyable, bizarro ride into the quantum realm. I mean, look, I can go on here. Had a blast. A reminder of how beautifully strange and mysterious the MCU still is. I mean, there's some... Again... here we go. Here's one that's maybe a little pulled back. After frustratingly rough Act 1, Quantumania finally gets going, only to end where the story should have began. Not sure what that means. But while the external stakes are clear and weighty, emotional drive felt slight and levity even lighter. That said Jonathan Majors rules. So if you're a fan of those Ant-Man movies, this one is definitely more on the serious side. That's, in fact, we've kind of known that for a while. But yeah, I mean, apparently Jonathan Majors is Jonathan Majors. And the thing is, everything I've seen him in so far, I've really, really enjoyed. So I'm excited for Ant-Man and the is it Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? Is that the name of the full movie? Or is it just Ant-Man Quantumania? I'm not sure. But there you go. There you go. Here's some more. Ted has got some more suggestions. Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Caddyshack, Clue, and National Lampoon's Vacation. That's quite a watch list right there. I mean, that's like an early 80s, mid 80s, just put the mid 80s in my head, you know? Young Frankenstein is so freaking good. I just love that movie. I love Gene Wilder so much. There's something about the way that he carries himself. He's just an amazing actor. I mean, of course, is Willy Wonka. I think that's probably where most people know him from. But man, I just love him. I just love him. Ant-Man were the only good ones in the MCU, in my opinion, because Guardians, but that's me. Oh, besides Guardians. Jonathan Majors is just so very good in whatever he does. Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty is so done crazy shit that they are carrying on without him. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm not a big Rick and Morty. I don't know anything about Rick and Morty. I've never seen a thing. I've only watched bits and pieces, and when I've watched, I go, yeah, it's okay. Not for me, but okay. To me, it's for a younger crowd. It's just not for me. And maybe if I watched it more, maybe I'd get into it, but I just never got into it. So I never could get into any National Lampoon movie, but maybe I'm too young. You haven't seen Christmas Vacation? Because holy crap. Holy crap. You need to see that one. That one's the best one. And it's so funny. God, it's so funny. Kang is a major baddie, so it should be serious. Kang is just brutal and cruel. Yeah, the only thing I know about Kang is I know people probably be like, oh, but the only thing I know about Kang is from the Lego Marvel game. And so, yeah, I just don't know anything about Kang. So I'm really interested in what they're going to do here. You don't think Christmas Vacation is as good as Fast Five? You son of a... Oh. Sorry, there was a thing here I was picking up. True, Ted, but as soon as he was charged, Adult Swim dropped him and he was fired. Yeah, I don't know enough about that situation. It's no Raid 2. I mean, and what is though? What is? But let's talk about some of these I don't know if you saw this. Rob is just moving his cat. I don't have a cat. No, it's just something that was on the floor. I was just picking up and getting it out of the way. I probably shouldn't have even looked down at it. But anyway, there you go. But this Sunday, as you know, or some people might know, is the big game, the Super Bowl. Rob has a secret called Fast 6. I don't own any of the Fast and Furious movies. I've only watched the first 2 and I think part of another one. And I just none of them worked for me. They're just not for me. And that's fine. That's fine. More for you. You know? I'll watch something different, you know? Just not for me. But anyway, this weekend is the Super Bowl, and with the Super Bowl comes ads, right? Well, apparently a lot of the movie studios are dropping a bunch of trailers, and I want to tell you about some of the trailers that we should be seeing this Sunday. And you know how like this is a fun time of year because it's like okay, all the big movies that the studios are going to try to push, we're going to see more from them usually around the Super Bowl. So it's really a fun time even if you don't like, you know, throw ball or whatever you want to call football. American football, right? I haven't watched the last 4 Super Bowls. Me neither, but I always try to stick around on the internet so when they drop the new trailers, I can watch the new trailers. But yeah. Rugby with pads. Who's in the Super Bowl this year? I believe it's the Chiefs and the Eagles. I think. Is that right? Is it the Chiefs and the Eagles? I don't know. I honestly haven't paid attention to American football in probably 5 years. It is? Okay. That's what I thought. But yeah. And the thing is I actually know quite a bit about football. Like I like the game and I like the strategy of the game. I like watching how each possession, how they take, what decisions they make and all that kind of stuff. And when you see the really, really good teams and the stuff they try, and I love that. It is fun. But the thing is you get to a point where, at least for me, it got to be where the game was taking a back seat to a lot of other things. Take that as you will. And I was just like, okay, and I was for me was willing to watch it. My wife was not. She was just like, I don't honestly, but we've watched this enough. And I kind of want my Sundays back because literally for 4 months, we would spend every Sunday in front of the TV. We didn't get anything done. And I mean, it's not like, oh, what's so important you need to get done? You know what I mean? It's just once you take something like that and you pluck it out of your life, you realize how much time you've been wasting doing that. So anyway, so there you go. Like I said, I don't care. But again, bunch of trailers. Bunch. Do you hear me? A bunch of trailers. Anyway, bunch of trailers, okay? Let's see. Money's on the Eagles. I mean, that's what I've heard. You need to talk more about My Little Pony and hentai so Calum will come back. I know. What's the deal? Calum? Bastard? I'm just kidding. The Trolls versus the Ogres. And welcome, Wraith. I thanked you earlier, by the way, for bringing my attention to the fact that they'd released the whole Fellowship of the Ring, or the Rivendell set. The Lego set. Hate the Eagles, but I'm a Washington fan, sadly. Well, there you go. Which means you probably hate the Cowboys, right? And I always liked watching the Cowboys, but then it got to a point where I didn't understand the fervor. It's like, okay, there's this team against this team, and they're like, oh, they're both playing well. Why do you act like you hate them? That kind of thing. I just don't get it. So, no Fast 10. No Fast 10 for Rob, but that is coming. So here's the list of what Deadline is expecting to see. And thank you to Deadline for putting this list together because, come on. The thing is, the top 3, I say there's really 3 that are the best sites when it comes to movie-related information. And that is Variety, Deadline, and The Hollywood Reporter. A lot of times, which we'll see later, we'll see a news item come up, and then it has to be retracted because it's not correct. Or it just ends up being speculation. And so if you usually, doesn't always, but Variety, Deadline, and The Hollywood Reporter are the top 3 best when it comes to movie-related information. Anyway, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know, but they're the best. They're absolutely the best. But anyway, they say we're getting a, oh, there it is right there, which you can't see. It's the Eagles and the Chiefs. All I'd have to do is look down. But The Flash, Fast 10, Cocaine Bear, which is supposed to be a 15-second trailer. It would be funny if they could just do it where you just see the bear, you see the bear bent over like behind a tree, and you just hear him like that, and then he just gets up and his eyes are all like, and then you hear a roar and Cocaine Bear coming February 20 something, whatever. That would be awesome. But anyway, Cocaine Bear, Guardians 3, Little Mermaid, which I'm sure that won't cause any controversy. Pixar's Elemental, which looks really good actually. If you've seen the sort of the some of the first things about Elemental, that looks really fun. Indiana Jones 5 is a maybe. The Marvels is a maybe, which again is taking Captain Marvel, right? And then Ms. Marvel in a movie, right? It's supposed to, I think it leads into Secret Invasion. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I want to see it. Scream 6, the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now, look, of those, I'm probably the most excited to see. And I know, I saw it earlier. Where did I say it? The pointless Flash movie, but James Gunn said that Flash movie resets the DCEU. Yeah, and he also said that it's probably one of the best comic book movies ever. Now, of course he's going to say that, right? He's part of the company and it's part of his studio, right? Of course he's going to say that. But I've been really, really interested in all of the talk behind this movie because while everybody was talking about how bad Batgirl was, everybody turned around and said, but The Flash is really, really good. So the people that have seen both of these have said that The Flash is just, it's really, really good. And yes, Ezra Miller has got their problems, lots of problems, but this movie is fantastic. And so I'm really excited to see it and to see how this works. You know, however many different Flash characters from different universes are going to be there, how many different Batman, all the stuff. I want to see what all the stuff is about. And I've heard so many good things about this movie way before we've even seen a single frame of footage. That's it. That's what's gotten me excited. So, you hate the Cowboys too? Well, there you go. American football, give blood, play rugby. I'm looking forward to the Flash trailer. Yeah. I mean, of course we know, and Ricky is probably, doing his thing where he's got to go sell his stuff. But we know he's looking forward to Fast 10. But yeah, what else are y'all looking forward to? Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, a dry lettuce has more personality. I mean, look, for a long time before I saw the movie, I was like, I'm not really being sold on this movie. Just wasn't being sold on it. But I actually enjoyed Captain Marvel. It had moments of greatness. It wasn't the best, but it had moments of greatness where I really, you get that feeling of, elation. I enjoyed a lot of it. So, I get what you're saying. But, are they actually going to release a Pixar movie in theaters? Apparently, Ted. Yes. Well, and look, Papa Iger is back, right? Bob Iger is back, and I think there is a new direction for Pixar. Pixar is not being treated like second fiddle. So I think that is definitely going to happen. Well, Rob, I have a friend that works on the Warner lot. I'm catching up with him next week. He apparently saw the Batgirl. Interesting, Phil. We'll ask him what it was like if I can remember. Yeah, look, the thing is, from what Peter Safran said, I think I don't have, or maybe I do. Hold on a second. Do I have my notes from last week? No, I don't. Apparently, I didn't say anything. Well, one of the things that he said about the Batgirl was that this happens sometimes, where a movie gets done with production and you look at the dailies and you go, this isn't working. Like, this doesn't work at all. So the studio looked at that and said, instead of putting all of this money into post-production, visual effects and all that, let's just can it. Because I think what's going to happen is, and this is and I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying that it would do damage to the DCU. So it would actually, it's kind of like, think Catwoman. Remember the Catwoman movie, Halle Berry, right? Where it actually ruined any chance of there being a Catwoman movie ever again. You know what I'm saying? That it was on that level, and that they didn't want to release it because it would harm the studio and it would also harm the careers of everyone involved. That's pretty serious. And of course, I can't make any judgment call on it because I haven't seen it. And the thing is, we'll never see it. We'll never see it. It just won't happen. And that's okay. Because honestly, I believe him. It makes sense to me. Everything I saw, all the different shots, I was like, that looks very TV. It doesn't look cinematic. But then again, a lot of cases, that's the way that, your smartphone is not going to be able to take it. It's all in the framing, it's all in the lighting, it's all in the cinematography, the lenses they're using, and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that make something look cinematic, but I was not impressed with what I saw. And apparently there's a lot of people that saw it, and a lot of people agree that this would have been bad, including Peter Safran, the new head of the DCU. So, there you go. But I'd really be curious to know from somebody who was actually there, are they going to look at it and they're going to say, no, this movie was... But then again, did they... Wait a minute. Let me read what you said again. He apparently saw the Batgirl. I would be curious to see what he says. Because if you were there on set, that's one thing. Because I think that there are times when you're... and I'm saying this partly from experience. But there are times when you're on set and you go, I don't know if this works. I don't know if this is working. I was just doing my job, but I'm sitting in it and I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. And then I see it cut together and I go, oh, that really works. I wonder how many people are commenting on it because they were on set. And when you're on set, your viewpoint can be either really, really good or really, really bad. And it all depends upon how it's edited and how everything comes together. And if they looked at that assembly cut and said, this isn't worth putting any more money into it, then I believe them. Because again, that happens. I would love to know what he said, Phil. I mean, if you remember, and if he's willing to talk about it. He may not be able to talk about it. But anyway, Rob, do you think for the Flash trailer, Jeff, do you think for the Flash trailer we're going to see Keaton's Batman? I would think, now this is just my opinion, I would think they want to focus as much on everything that movie has to offer because they've been talking about it for so long. I think they want to pull out all the stops. Now, it may literally just be a voice. It may be a glimpse. But yes, I think you have to have him. You have to have him in the trailer. And I'm talking about the way that they do this most of the time. For those of you who may not know this or you may not remember it. But for the Super Bowl, what they do is they typically do a 30-second or a minute shot, little like mini trailer. And then at the end of it, they say, go watch the full trailer online. And the full trailer online has all the stuff. It would be it would be stupid to me if they play the Flash trailer and Michael Keaton's Batman is not in it, because that's gonna make people who don't know anything about this, people who don't watch Order 42, people aren't the people that aren't in the know, that's gonna blow their minds, and they're gonna go, wait, what? Michael Keaton's Batman is back? What the hell is going on? And it would be really cool if they had Ben Affleck's Batman in there as well, because that would just blow freaking people's mind. It would blow their minds. So yeah, I think it would be stupid if they didn't. I want to see 65, that Dino movie. That 65 movie is interesting because it's Kylo Ren himself, Adam Driver, playing this character who apparently is from the future, and he goes back in time to a prehistoric Earth, and there's dinosaurs. I don't know what the hell's going on in that trailer. I'm so confused, but I'm intrigued. And I'm also hoping that it's really, really good. Adam Driver picks very interesting projects. But let's be honest, he's made some stinkers too. So I'm really curious about it. I would love to see more about that. He genuinely doesn't talk shop. We are planning a trip to the US with a few more people next year, so never thought to ask in depth. He made a comment there was a few screenings for Warner staff, but we'll ask him. He's a man of few words. Well, again, if you think about it, and if it comes up, just say, hey, and if he's anything like Leon's the same way. He will obviously talk shop, with somebody who's whatever, but for most people, he just wants to be a person and he doesn't want to talk about his work. So I totally get that. But hey, like I said, if you think about it and it comes up, I'd love to hear what his thoughts are. I mean, I'd love to hear about anybody, that kind of thing. That kind of thing is always interesting to me, the insider information. But at the same time, I always like to be surprised too, when I'm watching something or whatever. So, just give me 2 seconds of Batman, a glimpse, even if it's just a flash, and you go, just enough for you to go, holy crap, that's Michael Keaton. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Just give me Batfleck. Adam Driver sounds like a prawn star. I mean, or a Kyle.
I got a rollout. Here's a 5 spot for you, good sir. Love the show and we'll see you on your forthcoming videos. Have a good night, guys and gals.
Kyle, thank you so much. I mean, seriously, it's very appreciated. It's never, I always say this. I don't want people to feel like they have to do that or they need to do it or anything like that, but it is appreciated. Thank you so much, and you have a great night as well. Thank you for all the comments too on my videos. Don't think I don't. Look, I remember. I remember, and thank you so much. That's awesome of you to do, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Jurassic Park and space laser guns. I am not so sure. Oh, I know, Phil. That's what makes it so like if it was anybody else, okay. If it was Casper Van Dien, I know, he's kind of a cheese ball, okay? But if it was Casper Van Dien, I'd be like, okay, how good can this movie be? But it's Adam freaking Driver, Thank you again, Kyle. Appreciate that. Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's Adam Driver, I just love Adam Driver though. The thing is, I'll watch anything he does. Anything. I watched Patterson. I've watched The Dead Don't Die. I've watched a lot of movies that maybe not, like the big time movies or whatever, but I'm telling you, he's just one of my favorite actors. Period. He's so freaking good. And I love that he can do comedy. Anybody that can do comedy as well as he does and can do drama as well as he does and then do action stuff at the same time, all of that together, and he can sing apparently. I haven't seen that movie. Wait, or did I? Was he in the marriage? Yeah, he was singing in Marriage Story, wasn't he? It's the whole package. Ewan McGregor is the same way. I love those kinds of people that can just do anything. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is another one of my favorites. He's been quiet lately, but I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he can do it all too. It's just yeah. Rob, did you pick the voice when someone donates an English fellow? Yes, I did. Yes. It's the one I like the best, and it's the one that I hear a lot of streamers use, and it's the one that always... The reason I chose it is because originally I was thinking that, I mean, look, you never know what things are going to be like. You know, when you start a stream, you never know. But I picked Brian because, and that's his name, by the way. In the drop down, his name is Brian. But I'd watch streams where I hear people curse using his voice, and it just sounds hilarious. So I was thinking that, like, oh man, when people sub to my channel, like on Twitch, oh man, they're going to hear Brian, and people are going to be, you know, putting curse words in there. And it's going to be really funny and blah, blah, blah. And the fact is, I'm trying to look at a program that apparently is not available on Mac yet that allows you to actually pick what voice you know is read. And you can actually, the way that it's done is and I don't, like I said, I don't know if it works on Mac. Okay. Cause I have a PC, but it's old. It's starting to get really old. 2017 or 16 PC. It's getting old. But where you can actually like for example, so Wraith, Cosma, Phil, Bucho, right? If all of those were different voices, you could do Wraith, say something, and then Phil, say something, and then Bucho, say something, Cosma, say something. And you could do this all in the chat, in the box that you put in for your donation, and it would actually read those different voices. And it's kind of funny. But like I said, I don't think it's a thing on YouTube. I don't think YouTube can do it. And I don't think Mac can do it. But we'll see. Cosma of Oz, that would be text to speech. I mean, yes, it is, yeah. Sounds like a Dave to me. Maybe. Driver sang in Inside Llewyn Davis. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one. What's the whoop and all the don't all the God, that scene is hilarious. It's really, and it's actually kind of catchy too. If you've seen Inside Llewyn Davis, it's a fun movie, and it's one of the first movies that I saw of Poe Dameron himself. Or now I just went blank on his name. So I said Poe Dameron instead of Oscar Isaac. Driver and his 65-inch chest. I know, the dude is... He's an odd-looking man. But I don't know. I'm drawn in... He's got so much draw for me. So much charisma. I'm telling you. See, if you haven't seen A Marriage Story with him and Scarlett Johansson, it is a heartbreaking movie, but you watch it just for the acting. I mean, you can get drawn into the story, sure, but it's the acting is so fantastic, and you see what they're capable of. Both of them, Scarlett Johansson as well, and you're sitting there watching it. You're going, "Holy crap!" And then you look at, their work in higher budget movies, and you go, I get it. It's like, yeah, it's like you're going to do the big budget thing so you can make the money, and then you're going to go over here and you're really going to pull out all the stops when it comes to your acting. I get it. I totally get it. But yeah. I saw Knock at the Cabin this weekend, just gone, wish I didn't. Interesting. See, what's weird, oh, and look at there, we got Magnus and Not Gary as well. Welcome, guys. Leon actually said that he liked it, which I kind of, just from what I'd heard, because I think it's like in the mid 60s, like when on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. So it's kind of like 30 some odd percent of people don't like it. So I was kind of like, yeah, he's probably not gonna like it. Leon's probably not gonna like it. And he said he did. So I still want to see it. Not a fan of Scarlett. Magnus, I get it. But I'm telling you, she can act. When in the right role, she can do an amazing job. And I think she was fantastic. Just, she was really good in Marriage Story. So, I've been playing Dead Space and now I have nightmares of necromorphs dragging corpses through my room and standing over my bed. One even crashed near my door and I had to get up and check. Favorite SNL skit? That's a good question. I mean, a really good question. I just think about the ones that made me double over laughing. I mean, God, there's so many. There's so many good ones. In fact, for a while there, what I was doing is I was, using the old, the surfing the 7 Cs of the internet, whatever. I would download each episode as it aired and then take out my favorite skits and just keep them as like files on my computer. There's a ton of those that I love. But I think I have to think of like, I loved Massive Head Wound Harry. Do you remember that one? That one cracked me up because it was so disgusting, but funny. I really liked that one. And the ones where other people crack up, those are fun, but they're not like, oh yeah, Chris Farley. Come on. Chris Farley was on another level. And the first Matt Foley skit with Christina Applegate and David Spade sitting on the couch and they're trying not to laugh as he's doing all this stuff. I mean, come on. It's, yes. Yeah. Toonses, yes. Oh, the Game Chasers. Billy, what's going on? Lay off me. I'm hungry. Dude, I love Chris Farley, man. Love Chris Farley. I'm a fan of Scarlett and her butt. Just saying, but she can act, and Marriage Story is top tier acting. It really was amazing. Cowbell, yeah, of course, Cowbell was amazing. I liked Mad TV Show. That was funny. I never really got into Mad TV. Just like I never really got into In Living Color, even though Jim Carrey was in it, and there were some really, really funny skits. But I don't know. Do you think Andor is good enough story to be its own IP outside of the Star Wars universe? Wow. I honestly think that if you took that story, you took all the Star Wars connections out of it, you could make it in almost any sort of genre you wanted. It's, to me, the story itself, the meat of the story is that good. I think it's so good. Like, you could make it about revolutionaries and refugees on Earth and it would be captivating. You could make it about, you could set it still in a sci-fi setting, but have no connection to Star Wars and it would be captivating. There's so many things that you could do with the shell of that story and make it compelling, just changing the setting. But I think it works best in Star Wars because of your knowledge of the Empire, because of your knowledge of the Rebels and what they will represent, because we haven't gotten there yet, right? A lot of that really ties into it and helps you connect to the story even more, because you there's a lot of shorthand that can be done that you don't have to explain. Like, you don't have to explain who the Empire is, but you're still seeing a side of the Empire you've never seen before. You're seeing a side of fledgling rebellion that you've never seen before. That's really, really captivating stuff. But that's just me. Andor has a natural end once it catches up to Rogue One. Absolutely. And that's why there's only going to be 2 seasons. But like I said, man, I week after week was just kind of like, I can't believe this is that good. And then when I heard that the showrunner, Tony Gilroy, said, I'm not even that big of a fan of Star Wars. I was just interested in telling this story. I was like, that's one of those things that to me you look at and you say, look, guys, you don't have to be a fan of something for something to be good. All you have to do is be a really, really good storyteller. And if you're a good storyteller, you really could tell a story in any one of those. It's really just about having the passion to tell that story. And I think that's what makes the best movies, the best TV shows, are ones where people actually, you can tell, you can feel it. You can feel the passion that they have for the story. To me, it's why The Last of Us, the show, is so damn good right now. Is because you've got Neil Druckmann, who's passionate about the story, but then you got Craig Mazin, who's an absolutely fantastic storyteller. If you haven't watched Chernobyl yet, I'm telling you, watch Chernobyl. It's crazy good. Crazy good. Yeah, you put those kinds of things together and you're going to come up with, I mean, it doesn't always work. And there's a lot of passion projects that people put out and they're crap. But at the same time, I feel like in a lot of ways, it really comes down to just having that great story. And if you've got that great story, you've got a very skilled filmmaker that's willing to put in the time and effort to make it into something. To me, that's why Andor is so good. And Tony Gilroy doesn't have to be a big Star Wars fan to make it good. So, there you go. Night at the Roxbury, guys. Oh yeah, that's a good one too. But to me, that one was one of those weird things. It's kind of like a lot of Mike Myers stuff ended up doing this too, where it becomes a meme almost, and it becomes something that people just emulate all the time, you know. But a lot of Mike Myers stuff did that too. Wayne's World, of course, which became movies, and Saturday Night Live has been missing that, missing those breakout kind of stars, you know, when you can see them on Saturday Night Live and you can tell it's like, okay, this guy's got something special, you know. Missing that for a while. And yeah, Jeopardy was great. Yeah. I'm trying to think of singular you know what? Okay. One of the funniest ones, one of my favorite ones to watch of sort of like the last 10 years, recent Saturday Night Live, is the one about, and it's got, I can't remember the actress's name that's sitting in the center. And oh my God, I'm going blank on McKinnon. Kate McKinnon? Is that her name? So it's Kate McKinnon, this actress who's gone on to do Verizon commercials, and then Ryan Gosling. And they're talking about being abducted by aliens. That one seriously almost made me pee laughing. Like holy crap, it's so damn funny. And it's all in Kate McKinnon's delivery. I mean, of course it helps that Ryan Gosling is kind of cracking up, and then even the people behind the table that are asking the questions of these people, they start cracking up. But it just, I think if you look up Kate McKinnon alien abduction, you can see what I'm talking about. It's really funny. And Kate McKinnon's delivery is so damn good. But I mean, it's hard to think of like my absolute favorite. I mean, I've been a fan of Saturday Night Live since the late 80s, you know? Of course you had, you know, Rob Schneider making copies. The you know, that thing, the Tom Hanks ones, Tom Hanks and Kevin Nealon, well, and John Lovitz, I think. Or no, wait, it was Tom Hanks and John Lovitz, right? The, well, hello. And the woman walks right back, and goodbye. You know, all that, dude. There was so many great skits. And then even going further back, you know, some of the Dan Aykroyd skits, some of the Chevy Chase skits, Bill Murray. I mean, come on. There's so many good ones. It's hard to pick. And then, oh God, Get Off the Shed. I love those. Those crack me up too. Will Ferrell yelling cracks me up. There was one where I can't remember, Muriel Hemingway, one of the Hemingway women. And she's on the phone and she's trying to get off the phone and she's like, come up with something to get me off the phone. And he comes up with this really crazy shit. And it's so funny. I love that one. That's one of my favorites because it's like, honey, get off the phone. I think my herpes are, going crazy again or something. And it's like, and then she hangs up. What are you doing? And it's just funny. But anyway, when season 2 comes out, I will start watching it. I don't like watching shows until after they're finished. The cancellation of Dark Crystal broke my heart. Absolutely. I totally get what you're saying, binging, but then, see, to me, I was that way for a while, but you miss out on the week-to-week conversations. And that's what I always enjoyed about, whether you take part in the conversations or not, taking, or at least looking at people's conversations on Twitter or Reddit or anything like that, it's part of the fun for me. And the one that really kind of sticks in my brain is Lost. People can say all day long that, oh man, they screwed up that ending, and oh, J.J. Abrams this, and blah, 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 and they didn't have it planned, and blah, 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 whatever. The fact is, week to week, people were captivated by that show. And it was so much fun, all the speculation. And then I would listen to the podcast with Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse, which made me love Damon Lindelof. When everybody was talking about how Damon Lindelof sucks and all that, I'm like, no, he's a good dude. I respect that guy. I know he's got hits and misses. But I'll tell you, that guy is smart. He's really, really smart. And I don't think that he ever intends to make something not work. Or he's in a situation where he's asked to do work on a project where the director is telling him what he wants and Damon is just writing it. Prometheus. That's what happened. Okay? Can't blame Damon Lindelof for Prometheus not scratching every itch. You have to blame Ridley for that because he went through a couple of different scripts. Now, I like Prometheus, but anyway, I'm just trying to make a point. So yeah, I totally get that. But like I said, you miss out on that week to week. That was always going to happen with Netflix and Dark Crystal. Not enough people watched it. And it's a bummer because that was a beautiful show. Now, I will also say that the show wasn't the tightest story. I think the story could have gone through a couple of drafts because it felt like there was a lot of meandering feeling watching that show. You know what I mean? Wasn't a big fan of the storytelling. Was missing. The design was amazing. The action looked great. I loved the characters. Everything about the show except the heart of the story felt a little half-baked to me. There you go. Passion Project. Neil Breen and his movie Twisted Pair. YouTube that, Rob, if you don't know who he is, and enjoy. Okay. Where's my list of things? There we go. Man, look at this list. This list of things to check out. Neil Breen, Twisted Pair. Not paid, pair. And that's Phil that told me that. Okay, got it. Adam Sandler as the opera guy. Yeah, see, I'm one of those people. I don't think Adam Sandler was the funniest person at the time. Yes, I enjoyed the Hanukkah song just like everybody did. And I enjoyed some things that he did, sure. But for me, for my money, and during that time period, it was all Chris Farley. To me, Chris Farley was leaps and bounds. Chris Farley would have been a huge star if he could have, stayed alive. I think he would have been way bigger than Adam Sandler. Just saying. And I think Chris Farley, at a very young age, showed that ability to be hurt. You know what I mean? And to show pain. I felt like there was a good dramatic actor in there too. And we never got to really see that. Unfortunately. But I'm just saying. Like, it's kind of like, when people talk about boxers or MMA fighters, right? And they talk about pound for pound, right? For me, pound for pound, weight jokes aside, no puns intended there. But pound for pound, I think Chris Farley was a bigger ball of talent than Adam Sandler was. To me, Adam Sandler is here. Chris Farley is here. And I'd say this also might be one of those things that gets me in trouble. I don't care. I think Pete Davidson is here. That gives you an idea of my rating, my rankings. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I don't understand. I honestly don't understand the Pete Davidson fascination. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, he's got some funny stuff and he's done some good work. But pound for pound, just saying. The newer one with Bill Burr and the Woke Gangsters. I don't even know what that one is, Carbonite. I'm gonna have to look for that one. Here, I'm gonna write it down because I love Bill Burr. I wonder if I've seen it and I just don't remember it. Bill Burr. Yeah. All right. I think not having to do pilot shows has hurt television. I mean, they still do pilots. And they still have to get it approved. I'm curious what you mean, Ted, because they still have to do pilots. They still do that. In what way? In what way did the author's use of the prison... Sorry. Anyway. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody know that movie? Come on. I have every episode of Seinfeld on my hard drive, and I randomly watch an episode every Wednesday and Saturday. On YouTube, it's SNL Don Pauly. Okay. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Randomly watch an episode every Wednesday and Saturday. I love Seinfeld. Seinfeld is one of those shows that I was never hooked on it. I never watched it every week, but when I did, I always enjoyed it. That's interesting, sort of under your breath humor that I kind of like. Good stuff. Good stuff. That will give me the weirdness. Neil Breen is special. Okay. Chris Farley couldn't stay off the drug. Shame. Dude died on his floor overdosing. I know it. I mean, that's one of those where I feel like it's when you find somebody like that, and I say find somebody, but when they come across somebody like that, They boost his career. All these things are going well, and then the bottom drops out. It's tragic. It's just a tragedy. To me, I know that a lot of people give me crap about Lindsay Lohan. Okay? Because I thought she was hot. Okay? But I also think that she was extremely talented. And like holy crap, she's one of those that could have done anything. I guarantee you, if she hadn't gone off the deep end, she would be in a Marvel movie or Marvel project or a DC project. And I know that's hard to even imagine, but she had that level of talent that people would have wanted her for everything. And I think she could have done action. I think she could have done drama, and she definitely can do comedy. And those are, to me, if you can do those things. And she was cute. That helps too. But I mean, if you can do those things, and it's yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. And I mean, who knows? Lindsay could make a comeback. It's happened before, and it will happen again. Just see what happens. The golden age of comedy is over. Everything now is too political. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I get what you're saying. To me, there's comedies like this. Comedy goes up and down. Comedy has its to me, the highs are when there are no barriers and there are no, there's no limit to where your comedy can go. And then you go down here where we have been, in my opinion, in the last few years, where people are actually afraid to say stuff. And I feel like we're on the way back up to where comedy is being accepted again. Because that's really what it is why should we be listening to people with no sense of humor? Judging comedy. You have no sense of humor. You don't get it. You don't get that that's a joke. You don't get that that's just... I mean, look, I'll say this. When it comes to comedy, I'm not talking about things that happen outside of comedy. Okay? I'm not talking about people's bedroom habits or anything like that. All right? I'm just saying, when it comes to comedy, if it's a joke, it's a joke. That means it's not true. Now, what's great about good comedians is when they can toe that line about something that's really, really controversial and still make you laugh. That's a good comic. Or the comics that make you sit in their gut laughing. You're laughing so freaking hard. And then 30 minutes later, after it's over, you go, huh. That's a good comic. You know what I mean? And I don't think that comedy, there is a golden age of comedy. I think that comedy goes through cycles. And I feel like we're on the way back up, And I think, I mean, I get what you're saying, Magnus. I get what you're saying. But I think good comics can toe any line they want and it can still work. Now, I'm not to that. I was never even close to... Okay, I'll just say this. Our podcast had a following. I loved comedy, and I loved the way that our comedy, the three of us, when we were doing it, the way that it worked. But it's nowhere near the same as being in front of an audience and having to craft a joke over a period of nights and willing to go out there and bomb night after night in order to craft this joke into something that will kill. You know what I mean? That will just absolutely just destroy an audience. Completely different than what we were doing. But I respect that so much, the crafting of jokes, and listening to, especially like Bill Hicks, because I'm a huge Bill Hicks fan, listening to Bill Hicks over the years and hearing different ways that he told the joke. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder when that was when that was recorded. And I find out, oh, it was recorded before the special came out. So the joke was funny, but it didn't kill. And then you hear it on the special and hear it kill, and you're like, oh. So what I wanted to hear was how that joke started. Did he say the joke and there were crickets? And it's all in delivery, it's in timing, it's the way you say it, things. It's adding in another level of. Louis C.K. talks about that, and it's one of the things that I really like about him. When he was on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple of weeks ago, they talked about that. Really, really fascinating stuff. And I just love comedy. And I don't think I don't agree with you that there's a golden age. Yes, you're gonna have those things happen. You're gonna have a joke be told, and whatever group will get mad about it. Well, I say there are a lot of people in this world with no sense of humor. Unfortunately, they may have a following and they may get into some trouble for a while. And hopefully they end up like more like Dave Chappelle, where they can go, okay, and just go on and do the next set. Because that's when it comes down to it, they're jokes. Now, the one thing about Dave Chappelle that scares me is that he's become a little bit lately. He's become more almost like he's on a pulpit, you know what I mean? Instead of just being a comedian. But I think when you get there, when you get to a point, it becomes like that. And I kind of feel like he needs to, okay, just rein it in a little bit, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying, I love comedy, and that's how I feel about it. But there you go. I don't like Pete Davidson. He's up his own ass. Streaming anyway. Wait a minute. Well, streaming anyway, it seems like they have all the shows filmed and ready to go before it's on TV. Well, right, but they still have to make something and then have the studio greenlight it. Whatever case that is. And sometimes they greenlight a show based on somebody's premise, on somebody's concept. That happens a lot too. But more times than not, there's still a pilot episode that is made. But when it comes to, like, for example, like Star Wars, it would cost so much, it would be cost prohibitive for them to throw all of that money into this show, into this single hour episode or 40-minute episode, as Disney likes to do, and then go from there. Usually it's there's got to be that concept that really gets people excited. But I see what you're saying, but I still don't think that it's, for the most part, there's either a really killer but I mean, if you think about it, it's like movies. And it seems like in a lot of cases on streaming, instead of making the mid-range budget movie, they're taking these ideas and fleshing them out to 8 to 10, 12 hours and making seasons out of those. And then, so if those ideas aren't strong enough to support that, they don't do it. And then, I mean, I don't know. I miss those sort of $40 to $50 million movies, where they were just fun movies, or, they didn't have to be franchise starters. They were just good movies. Like, I kind of feel like Good Will Hunting may not be made today. I mean, take subject matter or anything out of it. I'm just talking about the budget and all that kind of stuff. It wouldn't be made today because it's not a franchise movie and it's too big to be something that's going to be on TV. I don't think that movie wouldn't support 8 to 10 hours of content. So it's an interesting place that we find ourselves in. I feel like that's more of a problem now than the myriad of streaming shows. Because if a studio wants to greenlight a story based on that, hey, not one day is guaranteed on this planet. Any day could be your last. I mean, a little, sure, but what do you, what is that? I'm wondering if that's in response to something, Magnus. Hollywood is horrible for young people. Yeah. Yeah. I will never watch a Will Smith movie ever again. He is ruined in my eyes. I get what you're saying, but I also, that's why I try to stay as far away from knowing too much about people. I keep my distance, metaphorically, I guess, from, I don't want to know too much about them. Because the minute I start learning about, like, I mean, it all depends on where your levels are, right? Ewan McGregor cheated on his wife. And now he's with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I kind of wish I didn't know that. Because it just it brings him down a little bit, a notch in my eyes. That he's a cheater. I like cheaters. But I can separate that from that, and I just try not to learn too much. It's one of the things where I think shows like what's the British show that's so popular? The British talk show where they drink and they talk and it's really fun. It is fun. But it's also like, okay, I like this guy too much. I don't need to like him. I need to like his performance. It's sort of like the same reason why I don't want to watch interviews about MMA fighters anymore. Because I don't want to get too attached. I want to watch their work. That's what's important. That's why they're famous. It's not because, oh, they're really nice people. Oh, or, oh man, he's really funny. When he's not in front of a film camera. He's really quick-witted. I don't care. I mean, if you're, Harrison Ford and you're just kind of just serious all the time and not really, but he can act. That's what I care about. So, I don't know. It's weird. I volunteer. Sorry, I'm way behind. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. I volunteer in drugs and alcohol recovery, Rob, teaching an IT class 1 day a week for a few months a year. You cannot save them all, which sucks. Wow. Yeah, Phil, that is one of those where I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And which sounds weird because I think that there's probably So my story, my health story, telling it and being with people that are under a lot of stress and under a lot of, maybe they've been through a bunch of surgeries or whatever, I think my story could help people. But I would, oh man, I don't know if I could watch people go through that, go through what I went through, and seeing it from this side. I don't know if I can handle that. So I commend you for doing it. You know what I mean? I commend you for that. I just don't know if I'm cut out for that. I like South Park because it makes fun of everyone. You can either sit around and feel sorry for yourself or laugh about it. But they've come under fire many, many times as well. Sometimes they just lean into it, which is kind of funny too. Just found Jim Brewer on YouTube. He's still going strong. Yeah. Yeah, Jim Brewer's still touring from what I hear. Golden age of comedy was when Pauly Shore was in his prime. Not so sure about that, but okay. Bill Hicks was a huge Pauly Shore fan? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. If you try to be a comedian in a nation that is going through hard times, then you will get killed or arrested. I mean, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, a comedian in Iran. Yeah, I get you what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But yeah, I don't think that's, yeah. I love the conspiracy theory. The Bill Hicks is just Alex Jones. So funny. Yeah, but I just, the only thing about that is, number one, I don't think they look alike. I've seen a lot of Bill Hicks footage and Alex Jones just, yeah. So what he does just stopped aging. But more than that, Bill Hicks would have a lot more tact than that, which is kind of funny. And it's kind of a shame, actually, that Rufus isn't here. Rufus the Red is not here tonight because I watched Waking Life. And I know that he wants to hear about that, but, well, next time. Pauly Shore, the comics comic. And that new Lego ring set is something. Oh, man, yeah. Graham Norton, thank you. Chappelle Show had the funniest skits of all time. Yep. It was a good show. And he's one of those comedians that when you can, it's almost like, how like back in the day, okay, there were jokes that you told, I could say high school. I'm not proud of these jokes, by the way, the jokes that I told, in the past. But there were jokes that you would do this. You would start the joke by going, yeah, that's the Chappelle Show. And that's Dave Chappelle in a lot of ways. The jokes that he tells, man, some of them go off the rails a little bit. But the thing that I love most of all is a fearless comedian. That's why I loved Bill Hicks. He was a fearless comedian. It was amazing. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, you can't slap Chris Rock just because your wife got no. Teaming up to do a comedy tour together. Chris upsets up the joke and Will Smith delivers the punchline. Oh! If Jada Pinkett Smith doesn't appreciate jokes about alopecia, then that is hair loss. That's so terrible. That's so terrible, but kind of funny as well. Let's move on with the news, shall we? Now, this is something that Ricky brought up. He sent me this. Keanu Reeves' Constantine 2 reportedly canceled at Warner Brothers, but there's been an update. So there's a lot here. There's a lot here about, there's a lot of ifs, and there's a possibly, it's sort of like those news articles that say, this could happen, this may happen. There's absolutely, some guy tweeted something, supposedly some sort of pundit or something like that. He maybe some connections, some sources. He tweeted it and then he deleted it. And this whole article is based on that tweet that was deleted. Now here's the thing. There's been an update. Entertainment Weekly reached out to Warner Brothers regarding the status of Constantine 2. A representative for the studio stated that the Keanu Reeves-led sequel has not been canceled. So, this is one of those situations where even the direct, which is up there, but it's not in the same category to me as Variety, Deadline, and Hollywood Reporter, because they get that stuff wrong too. Now, is it possible that Constantine is already canceled? Absolutely. Absolutely, it's possible it's already canceled. But according to the rep that Entertainment Weekly talked to, it's not canceled. So it's one of those things where until, like, a lot of, oh yeah, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Well, until I see it on Variety, Deadline, or Hollywood Reporter, I don't believe it, typically. Or hear it from the person themselves. I don't believe it. And it's just because of that. It's one of those situations where I'm glad that it's not canceled. But here's the thing. From what I know about the DCU, which is limited, I know that Swamp Thing and Constantine are very, very together. So I would not be surprised if they already have a plan for a Constantine in their new universe. Also wouldn't be surprised if Constantine 2 ended up being sort of an Elseworlds thing. Because look, it's been a while since I've seen that first Constantine movie, but I'm pretty sure it had nothing to really do with anything else in DC at the when they made that movie, right? So it's possible that it could stay its own thing and Constantine 2 could still happen. Who knows? But there you go. If you like documentaries, check out GameStop Rise of the Gamer about the GameStop short sale. It was really interesting. Okay. GameStop Rise of the Gamer. Man, you guys are giving me a bunch of stuff to watch here. which, I mean, who knows? I may watch it sometime. I mean, look, Ted, I mean, you're the one that got me to watch RRR, so you never know. Could be good. On Hulu. All right. If it is canceled, then we can assume James Gunn is going to use this character. I've read the Constantine books. The movie is very different. Okay, so there you go. But think about this. There's a Constantine, a version of Constantine, in the Sandman Netflix show. So, it's not John Constantine, right? But, hey, you never know. I liked the Constantine movie, but I didn't think Keanu was right for the part. Well, that's the thing, though. The right script, it could be great. Constantine 2 is going to introduce Lobo, who will be played by Jason Momoa. That would be interesting. You never know. You never know. But, yeah, let's get into a few more news things. This one happened today, or at least came up today. I just thought it was interesting. A Fawlty Towers reboot in the works with John Cleese, Camilla Cleese, and Rob Reiner's Castle Rock Entertainment. I'll be honest with you. John Cleese is one of those that I have always loved. I've always loved John Cleese. I'll watch anything with John Cleese. But he's way up there in age. It'd be interesting to see what they're going to do here. But I really like, not a good idea. Yeah, it says, where did they go? The new series will explain how Cleese's over-the-top, cynical, and misanthropic, right? Basil Fawlty navigates the modern world. This could be one of those that could be like, this could be like, okay, what is he going to say this week? You know what I mean? That could be what happens here. And it's not like John Cleese cares. You know, he's not worried about ruffling feathers, you know? So, I don't know. I just love John Cleese. And pretty much anything John Cleese has ever done, I've enjoyed. And especially his Monty Python stuff. Yeah, John Cleese is 83. Yeah, dude doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care. So it'd be interesting. But anyway, there you go. Now, I don't know if you guys, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but there kind of is a lot. And I do want to let you know about it because it is interesting. But first, 1923 is getting a second season. Just saying. If you haven't started watching 1923, it's really good. Now, they had their little mid-season break, and I think the new one started on Sunday. But it's really good. I think it's a really good show. And I think Helen Mirren's great. I think it's great. But a second season, apparently 1924, yes. But this is why I bring this up, is because good news in the Taylor Sheridan world, and then some bad news in the Taylor Sheridan world. Kevin Costner cowboy drama series plots end as Taylor Sheridan eyes franchise extension with Matthew McConaughey. I read about this and was like, what the hell? Now, I haven't even started. Please, no spoilers for season 5. I have not started watching season 5 of Yellowstone. But if you haven't watched Yellowstone, I will tell you that it is fantastic. Great writing. Great. I love the show. I love the show. And I know that it's not for everybody. And there's going to be, young people who would probably be like, oh, that's for old people. Well, I don't care because it's good. It's a really good show. But listen to this. The crux of the issue with the original Yellowstone series involves star Kevin Costner and disagreements over shooting schedules. Sources tell Deadline that Costner, who had originally limited himself to 65 days of shooting on Yellowstone, only wanted to shoot for 50 days for the first part of season 5. But for the second batch of episodes, of the current 5th season, the actor who just won Best Television Actor in a Drama Series at the Golden Globes only wanted to spend a week shooting. Usually takes about 90 days to shoot the half of a season of Yellowstone. And he wants to only spend a week. Costner is directing and starring in his multi-part Western epic Horizon, which he co-wrote with John Baird, that landed at Warner Brothers Pictures and New Line. So he's got something he's working on. Okay? Given that Costner plays John Dutton, the patriarch of the Dutton clan, this has been a source of frustration for Sheridan, and it is understood to be causing morale problems for the other stars of the show. We are told Paramount Network has declined Costner's most recent proposal and instead has made the decision to move on to the other show, sources have said. What all parties are now wrangling is a Yellowstone franchise extension that Sheridan will write with McConaughey as the star. The True Detective star is currently in negotiations. So basically, the show will go on without Kevin Costner. Now it's headed by Matthew McConaughey, and then whatever. This is crazy. But here's the thing. I can see it from Taylor Sheridan and Paramount's point of view that somebody like Kevin Costner was a huge draw to this show. But the show is what's most important. And if our main actor is going to basically hold the show hostage, we can't tell a story with you being available only for one of those weeks of the 12 weeks or however long it takes to shoot this stuff. We've got to try to figure out something else. And then from Kevin Costner's point of view, I kind of get it too. Because, well, he's no spring chicken. Does he want to be locked into a show for however many seasons? He's got his own thing he's working on. I kind of get it. So it's a weird sort of situation. And the idea of Matthew McConaughey in Yellowstone, in the Yellowstone whatever, we'll see. Rob just said customer epic. That might suck. Is that what it said? Multi-part Western epic. Costner epic. Yeah. Costner is directing and starring in his multi-part Western epic Horizon. Yeah. I mean, who knows? But the thing is, look, you can say what you want about Kevin Costner, but he is an Academy Award winning director. And yeah, he's probably thinking about, I don't have forever. I want to tell my own story. There you go. So who knows? But I think it's interesting, and we'll see what happens, because I really like Yellowstone. And Carbonite, I'm addicted to Yellowstone. Yeah, it's a really good show. I think it's a really good show. But, I mean, this we'll take Rob's word for it. Yeah, and I think it may be more of an American thing, the American West kind of feeling and all that stuff. I don't know how that show plays overseas. I really don't. But, yeah. I just couldn't get into Yellowstone. It's a show about rich yet trashy ranchers. I mean, yeah. But there's some really good writing and some really interesting characters in that show. So, isn't the show about Costner? That's like Seinfeld saying he doesn't want to shoot much on Seinfeld. It's more about he's the patriarch. Yeah, he's sort of the anchor, but they've actually tried. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's been opportunities for Costner to leave. I'll just say, and it hadn't happened. So I don't know. The show is really about Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser anyway. Everyone else is a side character. I mean, you can say that. I like them. Cole Hauser in particular, it's the best Cole Hauser's ever been. And Cole Hauser's one of those people that I've always looked at and said, that dude has a lot of charisma, and I want to see more from that guy. You know? I want to see more about, and just, he's capable of more. And we're finally seeing it. and he's fantastic. Waterworld and The Postman next. I mean, look, I get that. I'm not saying Kevin Costner's done everything or done everything perfect, but he's done some really, really good stuff. You can go into detail, Rob. I have no intention of watching it. I know, but I'm just, I don't want to, I think I said what I need to say about that his character could have been killed off a couple times and, didn't happen. Seems like if he wanted out, could have just taken one of those exits, you know what I mean? That's one of the things that's kind of frustrating. But then again, he just won a Golden Globe for Best Actor. So it's kind of like, because he's really good in it. Whatever you think about Kevin Costner, he's really good in Yellowstone. And sure, I love Cole Hauser. I love Kelly Riley in that show. And I think they're great. And those characters are amazing. But man, that show probably may not have ever caught on if it wasn't for Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner was the draw, Kevin Costner is the best Robin Hood. There, I said it. I mean, those are that's a bold statement. And I mean, you're talking about Sean Connery. You're talking about yeah, I don't know. Errol Flynn, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen an Errol Flynn Robin Hood. Of course, Russell Crowe. There's Taron Egerton, but I didn't see that one. The Russell Crowe one was actually better than I remembered. When I reviewed it, I was kind of like, that was pretty good. I kind of liked it. It's different, but I kind of liked it. But anyway, we're not talking about Robin Hood. I did like that movie though. I know it's cheesy. It's a cheesy movie. Kevin Costner's accent comes and goes with the wind. But I like Christian Slater and I like Morgan Freeman and I love Alan Rickman in that. Michael Wincott. Ugh. There's a lot of things I like about that movie. Is that Alan Rickman's movie or Kevin Costner's? I mean, that's a good one. I mean, you never know. I mean, who knows? I just love Alan Rickman though. God, if there's one person that I wish that I could really do a good impersonation of, it's Alan Rickman. I can't do a British accent and the voice. It's almost a manly Kermit voice that he does. The way that his voice works. You know what I'm saying? Like is that weird? Alan Rickman is just a manly Kermit. That's awful to say. And he would probably punch me in the nuts if he was alive. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the way, yeah, dude, that's a nice suit. Mr. Takagi. Be ashamed to ruin it. The way he talks. And just turn to page 394. I mean, I can't do it. Like there's no way that my vocal cords can work that way. But my God, what a voice. I mean, talk about charisma. Talk about charisma. Holy crap. But anyway. And now here is the final news item. And you ready for a rant? You ready for a rant? Because here we go. Yippee-ki-yay. I'm almost sad that I said that. It's not fair. It's not fair to Alan Rickman. But here we go. AMC theaters to change movie ticket prices based on seat location. So, Elliot Hamlish, the executive VP and CMO at AMC Theaters, had this to say. You ready for this? Listen to this and see if you. Let's just. I'm not even going to say. Just see what you think. Sightline is what this is called. Sightline at AMC more closely aligns AMC's seat pricing approach to that of many other entertainment venues, offering experience-based pricing and another way for moviegoers to find value at the movies. While every seat at AMC delivers an amazing movie-going experience, we know there are some moviegoers who prioritize their specific seat and others who prioritize value moviegoing. Sightline at AMC accommodates both sentiments to help ensure that our guests have more control over their experience so that every trip to an AMC is a great one. Anyone buy that? Does anyone buy that corporate BS? That somehow, oh my gosh, AMC has figured it out. And the customer is always their focus. No, your focus is you're losing money because of whatever, poor decision making, whatever. And now the customers that are still coming to your theater, they're the ones that are going to pay for this. Interesting idea. Now, this also, I want to be this. Okay, let me explain this. There will be 3 different seat pricing options. The first is standard Sightline, described as the seats that are the most common in auditoriums and are available for the traditional cost of a ticket. So probably the outside of the rows, basically not the middle. Then there's value Sightline, referred to as seats in the front row of the auditorium, as well as select ADA seats in each auditorium, and are available at a lower price than standard Sightline seats. Value Sightline pricing is only available to AMC Stubs members, including the free tier membership. Seats in the middle of the auditorium and are priced at a premium are called preferred Sightline. Now, AMC Stubs A-list members will be able to reserve seats in the preferred Sightline section at no additional cost. So basically, they're trying to get you to buy into their rewards program, which is A-list. Now, A-list apparently is you pay a monthly fee and you can see up to 12 movies in that month, which honestly is a pretty damn good deal if you go to movies a lot. The problem for me is, number one, I don't have an AMC that's that close to me. And number two, I don't go to AMC. I don't go to AMC enough anyway. So, here's the deal. I don't understand this thought process. I mean, I do, but I don't. I understand it because, yes, AMC's been in a world of hurt for a long time. They were bailed out by a lot like this GameStop thing that was brought up earlier. But this idea alienates people. It alienates the people that it's kind of like it's another way for people to sit in the middle and look down at the people that are not sitting in the more expensive seats. I don't understand the thought process. Like, who thought that this was a good idea? And who is trying to spin this that, oh my God, we're just trying to do it for the customers and what they want? Yeah, I sit in the middle because it's typically the best for the sound. And I like to look straight ahead and be able to see via my peripherals the edge of the screen so that I'm kind of doing this. I'm not doing this or this or this. Yeah, I want to be able to look straight ahead and see the edges of the screen. Centered. That's what I want. Now I have to pay for that. I don't think it's a great idea. I don't understand how they would think that this is a good idea. And one of the things that on the John Campea show, I know I bring him up a lot, but one of the things that he said that I really agree with is that movie theaters in particular should be doing everything at this point to try to make the movie going experience as good as possible. He said that the Alamo Drafthouse actually has a trailer that comes up before the movie that basically ridicules people that get on the phone in the middle of a movie and that won't shut up during a movie and all that kind of stuff. And they are no BS about it. And I kind of like that. They don't have that at AMC. I can't remember at Cinemark if they have anything like that. I don't think they do. But there's a couple of things that you could do to make the movie going experience better. That cost very little. Number one, play less trailers. Play fewer trailers. That's the correct English, right? Correct grammar. Play fewer trailers. Second, don't play a trailer trying to convince me that watching the movie in a theater is the best experience. I'm there. I know this. Quit trying to, it's like, you know what you should do? You're at a football game and there's a trailer that comes up that stops everything. And in the middle of it, it's basically saying, you know what? Being at a football game is better than sitting at home. Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here. Get on with the freaking game. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? That Nicole Kidman trailer is a joke. Get it out of there. If you're trying to sell me on something like, I don't know, maybe the AMC A-list, maybe that's something that I would be interested in. That I can understand. But I don't understand right before the movie starts, a glass and ice dropping in the glass and Coke. No, guess what? I know I've been to a movie before, okay? And I know that you have concessions. Guess what? I've been to a movie before. I'm not from another planet. You don't need to remind me that you have concessions. I know you have concessions. And guess what? I can hear, the fat ass behind me eating their popcorn. I can hear it. I can smell this dude's hot dog. I know you have concessions. I don't need you to remind me of that. So, get rid of the stupid ass trailers. Get rid of, let's play 10 minutes of trailers, not 30. That would help. That would help me have a better experience. And guess what? Something else is, why don't you have somebody come in every now and then and look for people on their phones or look for people that are talking and get them out of there. You have done this to yourself. You've made it a place where you make it hard for me to want to go to a theater because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with somebody talking. I don't want to deal with somebody on their phone. That's not my job. It's your job. So do your job, number one. Number two, don't make me pay more for the seat that I want to sit in. I hate that. I think it's a stupid idea. I don't even understand how it made it past I just don't get it. I don't even get it. And what's kind of funny is, this. Now, he comes at it from a different angle. But Elijah Wood says, AMC's new tiered ticket pricing, movie theaters have always been a sacred democratic space for all. And the other thing is not just that, yeah, you're going to have this sort of I don't know, I don't think, who knows? But there's probably going to be people that are sitting there going, look at them, they can't afford the expensive seats or whatever. I don't know if that happens, but come on. But the idea that, oh yeah, it's seat pricing approach to that of many other entertainment venues. I don't know if you know this, but a movie screen is not real. I don't sit close at a concert and pay more for that because I want to look at the screen better. No, I'm doing it because I'm closer to the musician or the band or the composer or whatever the situation is. That idea is stupid. Get it out of there. It doesn't make sense. Gotta roll. See you. Catch you. Sorry, I've been ranting. Bucho, have a good one, sir. Have a good one. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to throw it to you guys. Because I don't know what else to say other than it's absolutely stupid. And the problem is, because AMC is the largest movie theater in the United States, we may have all the other theaters, catching on to this and going, hey, that sounds like a great idea. We can boost our profits. I don't know why they talk like that, but geez. Ow. In Alan Rickman's memory, get your prostates checked, boys. It was Alan's last few things he spoke about. He caught it too late. It's not. I mean, it's bad. It's not fun. But yes, you should totally do it. Yeah. I don't get it. In the UK, it's one price. View cinemas have 2 rows of VIP seating, which costs a little more. Crazy. I don't understand that. Now, I get it when your theater is one of the ones with the reclining seats. I get it when it's the one with which I don't like. I don't appreciate the people coming and standing in front of me while I'm trying, you need to pay your bill. I'm watching the freaking movie. Get out of the damn way. I hate that. But I can understand that those might be more premium experiences. But sitting in the middle is not one of them. I'm sorry. Sitting in the middle it's just a thing. We should have seen it coming, though. We should have seen it coming as soon as you were allowed to pick seats. Should have seen it coming. I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to pull this bullshit earlier. Because it really makes it. I mean, it's just like Ticketmaster, right? Oh, I want to sit here. How much does that seat cost? Oh, that one's 20, whatever, however much it is. I'm surprised they hadn't pulled this earlier. I've heard they're going to start doing that here, charging more for the better seats in a theater. I just don't get it. I don't get how, the movie theaters, the theater experience has been under fire for many, many years. Everybody was saying, pandemic, guess what? This is the end of theaters. They were saying that. Thankfully, that's not the case. The theaters were somehow able to survive. But this is not what you do. I mean, yeah, Avatar helped a little bit, but come on, guys. Avatar and Top Gun helped a lot. Granted, helped a lot. But this doesn't mean that you start doing this crap. It sucks. A-List is like my Cineworld card, which allows me to watch as many movies as I want. £15.99 British sterling. That is right? A month. The 40X and IMAX screenings, I have to pay £4 though. So it's a discount. Okay. Yeah, 40X is dumb. I'm sorry. I don't like 40X. I think it's, ugh. I love Alamo. They kick you out if you talk or are texting on your phone. Yeah. Why aren't the big ones doing that? It kind of makes me want to seek out an Alamo. Just for that purpose. Because that's the thing that gets me, man. And it honestly doesn't take much to take me out of a movie. But I don't know, maybe as I've gotten older, it bothers me less. What bothers me more is the fact that you played 74 trailers that I've already seen. You're playing old-ass trailers for 30 minutes. Last I checked, yeah, the start time for the movie was 30 minutes ago. Start the movie on freaking time. That's what I say. Would you like to have the job to throw people out of the theater? No. No, I wouldn't. No. Some young punk raising a ruckus in the theater, fighters. Yeah. I mean, look, no, I wouldn't. But there's got to be something. There's got to be some sort of something. I mean, the thing is we've been conditioned. It's just, look, I'll be honest with you. It's just like Blockbuster. Blockbuster conditioned people that if you screamed and yelled, you usually got your way. Which is why when someone started doing that, I'm saying, I'm sorry, I'm the manager here today, and you're not going to get what you want. You owe this money. So you can either pay for it and rent your movies and we can all get on with our lives, or you can leave. You have your choice. But guess what? Our store, we didn't have that problem. But I noticed it. And this is going to be one of those things, it's touchy. What was really strange to me is that it goes exactly the opposite of the way you would think. In a weird way. You might expect it to be different. But the lower, I would say the stores that were located in a lower class were better about late fees than the ones at the higher class type people, right? So it's like if the surrounding area had a lower income, they were usually better about their late fees than the higher ones. They would lie to try to get out of it. Once you proved it, they're like, okay, I'll pay it. The rich people would fight tooth and nail. I had one lady offer me sexual favors if I would take off her late fees. I say lady. She was probably 20, young 20s. And I'm like, I've never had that offer before, but I'm sorry, I can't do that. But yeah, you would think it would be the other way around. You would think that the people that were lower income would probably gripe more and try to get out of more, but they didn't. It was the people that were rich. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It was such a weird thing that it was like this notion in my head that that's the way it would work. No. Very strange. Will you get a home theater like in The Sopranos? I just read Phil's hate Elijah's stupid hat. I mean, yeah. That's funny though. Will I get a home theater like in The Sopranos? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not sure. Anyway, Netflix tried cracking down on password sharing and didn't go too well for them. Oh, it hasn't happened in the US yet, but it will. We're about to start seeing that, right? Netflix is going to start making you sign in like once a month. It's going to kick you out and then make you sign in again. That's going to be the first step. It's going to ease you into it. But one of the things that's I don't know. I kind of don't feel like that's a problem. I don't think you should password share. I don't. I don't think so. You want a service for nothing? Well, that's not the way the world works. Well, I want that car. I should just be able to have it. No, you should be able to pay for it. And if you can't pay for it, you gotta, I'm sorry, you gotta pay for it. The world doesn't work like that. No one's entitled to anything. That's just the way I feel about it. I know it's probably a touchy subject. Well, I'll just pirate then. Okay, well, you're still stealing. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel about it. So I think that the $3 a month or whatever it is for you to have somebody piggybacked on your Netflix account, which again hasn't happened in the US yet, but it will. I don't think that's too much to pay. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think that's a big deal. Dude, every 6 months, PayPal me $20. That's it. I don't see what the problem is. It's going to cost them $20 or $18 or whatever. I don't know. I have a problem with that. I've never been a person would want to do that myself, but I don't know. I've always been very self-sufficient and independent. Like I don't like handouts, which is why I feel it weird when anybody tips the stream. It's almost like I didn't do anything. I just turned on a stream. I mean, I appreciate it. And showing your thanks like that means a lot to me. But anyway, would you pay to skip the line at a theme park or TSA? That is a thing. Both of those are things. That is completely different than this. It's completely different to me. I've been to an Alamo, pretty good. Oh, Alamo Draft House, yes. Yes. Or is that what it's called? You Americans don't have the no talking on phones warning at cinemas. We have always had that in the UK. Oh, we used to have them. There's a lot of, but the thing is there also used to be, there also used to be people that would walk in the movie theater and would do exactly that. Hey, turn your phone off. Turn your whatever. That doesn't happen anymore. At least in the theaters that I go to, they don't do that anymore. They should put the trailers at the end so you can stick around and watch them if you want. That's why they're called trailers. That's the way it used to be. But I might have taken her up on the offer. I mean, yeah, but no. I'm not going to look, I'm sorry. I'm not going to cheat on my wife for this stupid little idiot who can't bring movies back on time. No. I'm not gonna no. That poisons your soul. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that whatever, different situations, whatever, maybe. But no. I was married at the time. I'm not gonna do that. Even if she popped her teeth out on there. No, see, that's different. I mean, I look, I understand. That was a weird store that I worked at too. Because it was in a very nice neighborhood. Like, we're talking Four Seasons, like a block away. It was nice. And there were, regularly really nice cars pulling up in the parking lot. And you're like, oh my God. And getting out of it, some old geezer, And then sometimes it'd be like some absolutely supermodel, which is also where me and a friend that worked there, when I would open, I was the manager, right? One of the managers, and he'd be working there during the day with me or something. And what we would do is we would, and I told this story on the podcast back in the day, but it's, you'd be like, oh man, I sure would like to, sleep with her or whatever euphemism you want to say. Oh man, I sure would like to, take the monkey on a ride on Six Flags, whatever you want to say, whatever euphemism. And what it was it was goofy like that. So it was like, man, I sure would like to, and then whatever. It was kind of like, what is that? The Aristocrats joke. It's kind of like that. So it was, but then it started getting like crazy, and like sometimes it would be like incredibly disgusting. And I remember one thing that I said, it made him gag, and it cracked me up because it was so bad. And it was like, it's stuff that you're not supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the rich people might have had a sense of entitlement. Also, poor people might appreciate the entertainment more. Magnus, that's exactly what it was. But I wasn't thinking of it that way. I just thought, oh, well, these people don't have money, so they're going to cheat more, and they're going to lie more, and they're going to get mad more. That's just how I thought it would work. But no, the rich people would bitch and moan and throw like hissy fits. Like what? It was crazy. Tony Soprano's had his own private home theater. Oh, I would love one. If that's what you were saying, yes, I would absolutely love to have a home theater. But I don't. I have a TV in my living room. I don't even remember my Netflix password. It's been so long since I've had to use it. Well, again, that's supposedly happening soon, where it's supposed to be the first step. So what that's going to do is it's going to kick everybody out of the account, which means the main person that owns the Netflix account is going to have to get back in touch with all of those people and either give them the password or not. You may be an opportunity for you to cut some people off, but also it's going to basically be going to be the start of it. Netflix announced that they were doing that, and it was a huge backlash, and stock was dropping, and they changed course. They haven't changed course. It's going to happen. And the thing is, that is to me the absolute right thing to do. Someone is literally not paying for the service that you're providing. They're taking up your bandwidth. They absolutely should be cut off in some way, shape, or form. That's how I feel about it. And there are plenty of people that will say, okay, yeah, I haven't paid for this. You've been giving me your password or whatever. Sure, I'll pay you $3 a month to keep using your account. That is not a lot to ask. And Netflix gets to turn around and use those new people as subscriber, to boost their subscriber numbers. So I think it's going to be a thing. $40 a year. Yeah. To your friend or sister or brother or whoever, your parents, whoever's got the Netflix account. I don't see a big deal. This chair, I'm telling you, I need to shift more in this chair. Also in UK cinemas, a person pops in with night vision binoculars and scan the theater looking for people on phone. Really? Well, that sounds interesting. Ted, if you're saying if you were single, what would you do about the Netflix? Well, you'd either, you do what any regular person would do. You make choices. This month, I'm going to watch Netflix. And then I'm going to cancel Netflix and start HBO Max so I can get caught up on that show. And then to me, it's like I went without if I couldn't do something when I was younger. I didn't just get to do them. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what people want. I mean, look, I know that this is probably, old man Rob talking. You young kids with your whatever. But it's like, look, if I couldn't afford to have the thing, I couldn't buy the thing. If I couldn't afford, and I didn't have Netflix and Amazon Prime and all the stuff, right? I didn't have any of that growing up. But if there was something that I had, that my friends had, I either bought my own or I did without. Oh, if you were single. Oh, with a chick. Oh. I mean, who knows, man? The weird thing was, it's such a weird thing, and I don't know, it may just be because I'm an idiot, But when I was single, I never got hit on, like ever. Like it just didn't happen. And then seriously, it seemed like as soon as I got engaged to April, suddenly women were hitting on me. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a ring. Nothing happened. The only difference is now I'm engaged and suddenly it's happening. I'm like, what the hell? Remember Robert De Niro smoking and laughing in the theater? I do. That's a good movie, Cape Fear. Yeah, Cape Fear's good. The original movie starred Robert Mitchum. Yep. Navy SEALs in the theater. I think Ted, yes, yeah. In my day, all media was rare, physical, and very expensive. And if you didn't have the money or car to get there, you didn't get it. Women have always hated me. Yeah, it's strange. It's like, and this is again, this is a thing that I can say because it's absolutely true. But there for a while, like I said, it's like I'd get married and all that kind of stuff. And I would every now and then be like, she was hitting on me. That's interesting. Never do anything about it because I love my wife. But then I get a certain age and all of a sudden they quit hitting on me. And then it started to be, and again, I don't understand this, older black ladies. I don't understand that. I don't understand why that happened. And I mean older than me, not like, 80-year-old, black ladies. It was just older than me, black ladies. And I couldn't understand it. And it happened a lot. Like enough that I was going, what is going on? And it happened, I remember the last time it happened. See, that's the thing. I wasn't skinny back then. I wouldn't say I was like huge, but I wasn't skinny. Then, it was like I'd probably been out of the hospital for I don't know, probably been back at work maybe 6 months, right? I'm still like in recovery and still not I was thin, rail thin. And I remember this I was in the elevator going up to my floor where I worked for the company that I worked for. And she like literally like I'm just going to say it. She put her hands on me in a way that I wasn't comfortable with. Luckily, she was leaving the elevator, but it made me feel really uncomfortable. Like, this is like, why? I still don't understand it. She's probably in her 50s. And I was probably at the time, it might have been like 6 years ago. 6 years ago. So yeah, it would have been like 2018 maybe. So yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand that at all. Like I don't understand what changed, what happened. What was the difference? Anyway. Yeah, they like skinny white. Well, like I said, I don't understand that. You were sexually assaulted. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it was enough where it was like, okay, that's a little strange that you're touching me on my stomach. Why are you touching me on my stomach? It was weird. Like I don't know. There's something like to me it's like you don't just touch somebody's stomach. I don't know, it was weird. Yeah, the Anchorman sex spray, the Sex Panther. I was wearing Axe body spray. Maybe that's it. Isn't that what happens in the commercials? Have I watched any of the Star Wars Bad Batch? I have. Now, I will say that while I'm enjoying the show, I also find it a little bit frustrating, and I don't know what the reason is. Because I don't think they're doing anything really different than what they do with the regular Clone Wars shows or the regular Clone Wars series. And even maybe some of the other Bad Batch. It's been too long. But I feel like Andor has kind of ruined me a little bit. And I find that this very surface level, let's wrap it up in 20 minutes kind of stories, they're not as compelling to me anymore. It's not compelling to me that everything just works out. I don't know. And it's always something about episodic TV that I've never been a big fan of ever. So I've always liked stories that had meat on the bones, you know what I mean? So I don't know. You should go to Africa for your next vacation, Zimbabwe or Tanzania. I'll tell you what, honestly, if I was, okay, never happened, but if I was single, I tell you where I'd go. I'd go to India. There are some absolutely gorgeous Indian women. And I'm pretty sure I could probably make a killing there. You know what I mean? But I'm not single. And I'm not going to India. But I'm just saying. Just saying. It's a bit more for kids than the Clone Wars, maybe. Yeah, it feels aged down a little bit. And I also don't like the almost cookie cutter nature of some of the, like, oh, Omega's gonna do this thing and it's gonna get him into trouble and now they have to do this. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, let's tell a bigger story here. Let's tell a different kind of story. I don't know. The racing one was like, yeah, fun. That was fine. But it was also like, it's kind of like it's like, man, I want to sit down and have a steak, baked potato, and a really, really nice, well-made salad, you know, and some perfectly toasted buttered bread. Know what I mean? And instead, they're giving you marshmallows. That's all you get. And you're like, I mean, I like marshmallows, but they're not really doing it for me, you know? It's just not doing it for me. So, what did I say earlier? Alan Rickman is a more manly Kermit, and Clone Wars is like marshmallows. There you go. Okay, wait. Did Andor make you cry at all? I think I got a little bit misty at one point, but not that I remember. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember though. I don't think so. But it was super like compelling for me. I really, the first 3 episodes were, in my opinion, some of the weakest. But man, once you get going on that mission, you know, and they're working up to the mission, and then the mission happens, and then after that is the prison. I'm telling you, I was locked into that show. I really, really, I'm trying to think. It may beat all, as far as like a complete experience. It may be the best Star Wars since Empire. Just saying a lot for me because I really enjoy a lot of the prequels. Prequels have their problems, but there's a lot in the prequels that I love. There's a lot in the Clone Wars that I love. But I think it's the best Star Wars story since Empire. So there you go. I had to really think about that because I really love parts of Return of the Jedi, but I think that's why I said as a complete experience. But anyway, Zimbabwe and Tanzania, not tourist hotspots. I go to Mexico and Colombia. Went to Thailand once. The airplane ride was hell on the way back because I had diarrhea. Been to India, got the shits. Enjoy your trip and avoid public toilets. I mean, I don't know. I'm like I said, it was all a what if kind of thing anyway. I cried watching Titanic when my girlfriend at the time got up and put the second VCR tape in. See, I honestly, seriously, no BS. I like Titanic more than my wife. My wife is more of I've said this before, but like usually if someone's not dead in the first 5 minutes or an explosion or something, she's usually like, it's boring. She doesn't have the patience that I have for movies, but to me, Titanic is a extremely good movie. It's not my favorite or anything like that. It's not my favorite James Cameron movie by far, but I still really, really enjoy it. And I will defend it against people that are saying that it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. Does it play to the teenage heartthrob Leo thing? Of course. Of course. But it is a good movie. I think that is a well-made piece of entertainment that hits a lot of different buttons for me. So. And yeah, I was working at Blockbuster when it was a double cassette. So it was a pain in the butt. Because think about it from my perspective. Okay? Movies come back. They're not rewound. One's rewound and the other one isn't. Whatever. Now you're taking up 2 rewinders for one movie. And then somebody else, like, oh, you get busy. You have to help somebody. That somebody else comes in and puts 2 tape 2s in one case. And 2 tape 1s. So you got to figure out, okay, which one is it? So now you've got to look through all the ones that you just put up to see which one has tape 1 and tape. It was a pain in the butt. And there was a lot of Titanic being rented out, let me tell you. S'mores for the win. I mean, s'mores would be great. But only marshmallows when you want a steak? Sorry. Love to go there. I mean, I'd love to go. I love seeing other cultures. It's the one thing I really haven't seen that. You know, the furthest I've ever been is Alaska. And just being in Canada for the short amount of time that I was there, it was amazing to see the differences. I want to go to England and see what the differences are. I want to go to, seriously, I would go anywhere and everywhere if they would let me. But spaced out. Like I don't want to, oh, we're going to take a 6-month trip around Europe. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go to a place, enjoy it, come back for at least 2 weeks. Then go back and do it again. That would be fun. But not this. I like being home and being able to decompress, you know? But anyway. There's some really good stuff in Rebels as well. Yeah. Which I'm saying to me, again, this is my taste, right? I think Andor is overall the best experience Star Wars that I've had since Empire. I know there's a lot of people don't agree, but so your wife probably hates Dune then. She hadn't watched Dune yet. She wants to see it. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to like it. I love it. I love because that one envelops you in the world, especially if you have a good sound system. It envelops you in it. And it makes you feel it. It's like a different experience. I get it when Leon said, oh yeah, I was watching it on my computer and I didn't get it. Well, yeah, you didn't. I mean, sorry, but you didn't get it. Now it's completely soured you on the idea, but you should have seen it. You should have seen it here with me. My big ass TV and my surround sound that I had cranked because my wife wasn't here. It's awesome. So yeah. Did you have to rewind the DVDs too? No, that's not how that works. Do you rewind CDs? No. But yeah. Can't wait for Dune 2. Really enjoyed part 1. Like the old movie as well. Yeah, the old movie took me 3 times to get through it because I kept falling asleep. And then I'm like, I don't have the ability right now to go back the 20, 30 minutes that I missed because I fell asleep. I missed some stuff. Oh, episode 2, Queen Amidala's ship blew up in the first 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. See, Star Wars has never been a problem for April. There's some Star Wars movies that she likes better than others. Like, she doesn't like The Last Jedi, not because, and the only reason she doesn't like it, and this is, and I, again, completely valid. She doesn't like The Last Jedi because of Canto Bight. And it's not because it's a pointless thing or anything like that. It's just it's not well made. It's not very well edited. And I will completely 100% agree with you. It's not edited the best. And even some of the effects are janky. They're janky. It just doesn't look right. I understand the point of Canto Bight, but when someone says that, when she says that, I'm like, I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. I can still enjoy it on a simple, yeah, it's fine. It's not the best. But as soon as we get back to, Luke and Rey, come on. I'm locked in. I love all the Rey, Luke, Kylo Ren stuff. I love all of it. Anyway. But that's probably one of her least favorites. And she loves Rogue One. Rogue One's not my favorite. Mexico is right on your doorstep. If you're talking to me, yes. Yeah, you're right. New York is the furthest I've been from Texas. Yeah, I went to... What was the furthest I went that way? Somewhere in Maine. I can't remember where we landed. Portland, I think, is where we started our northeast trip. And the furthest south I've been is, well, wherever we went, where me and Jay went to Florida. The last thing we did. That's not true. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta once. Anyway. I recommend Lopez in Baja or Guadalajara. Yeah, not for me. Not for me. Not for me. Dude, I live in Texas. There's a lot of people from Mexico here. I get it. I'm sure there's some beauty in Mexico, but yeah, that's no. Sorry, not my thing. My mom and dad have done several of the river cruises through Europe, and they really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, I would love to see like as much of Europe as I can. I just think there's history there. There's actual history. That's the thing that gets me about it. Like I want to see some buildings from, the 9th century and stuff like that. That's what I want to see. Even Lord of the Rings, lots of walking. Even the fucking trees walk in that movie. And Return of the King with its 27 endings. Oh no. Yeah. Well, what was that? That was in Clerks 2, right? Where it cracks me up. Like there's a lot of walking in that movie. That whole thing. Great stuff. Furthest north and south I've been is New Hampshire and Florida. Yeah. I'm just thinking. I've been, because we landed in Seattle, took a bus to somewhere in Canada, but we couldn't do the bus in Canada, we were able to do a little bit of stuff in Vancouver, but then because we didn't have because of the way that what do you call it? The cruise that we went on, it didn't require a passport, so we couldn't step foot in Vancouver, but we could get off the bus and get on the boat, basically, is what we did. But because of the way that we did it, we were on the boat for a couple of hours, seeing Vancouver, and it was pretty freaking cool. And just all the differences was like, dude, I want to come back here. But anyway, so Vancouver, and of course been to San Francisco, been to, Ontario, never made it into LA. Yeah, and we drove that. So, yeah. And again, it was fun, but man, driving with Billy is like driving with a camel. So, I don't even know if that makes sense. But it's like he doesn't pee. I don't get it. On Middle Earth, anyone remember that Amazon series? Very forgetful. Yeah. Yeah. Middle, I mean, mm, I'm curious what's going to happen. Are they going to do any course correction in season 2? Is it going to be tighter? Is it going to make a little more sense? Or is it still going to be what season 1 was? I kind of think about that with Wheel of Time as well. Yeah, by the way, I'm reading The Lost Road, which is this green one here. I'm reading The Lost Road right now. And I'm just going to tell you this. If you are a fan of Tolkien and you've read, and I guess it depends on what you're reading Tolkien for. But I think if you read Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, and Unfinished Tales, you've pretty much read all the story that you're going to get. Now, there may be more. I've heard that there's more down here in the last 3 History of Middle Earth, but so far, almost all of this, there hasn't really been anything new. It's variations of what I've already read. So I'm reading through Beren and Luthien again, and I'm reading through the Children of Hurin again. Love them; they're so good. But it sucks reading through the another version of it, and it's like ah. So anyway, just saying. Did I get seasick on the boat? One time, and it was because I ate too much and I fell asleep, and I couldn't see because we were very. I don't know how we got these rooms, but it was there's a portion of the trip that we had open water to one side of the boat, and during that there was a lot of rocking, a lot of swaying and stuff like that. And the only time I actually got a little seasick was when I'd eaten and I'd fallen asleep and it was rocking, and when I woke up it was like, oh my god, oh, I'm gonna be sick. And then I got up and I quickly went outside, and as soon as I was able to see the ocean, I was fine. I don't think I ever took any of the whatever that stuff is. I can't remember. But I don't think I ever took any of it. As soon as I could equalize, I guess, see the horizon, I was fine. Yeah, Vancouver was awesome. It was really, really cool. You should have a series where you visit famous filming locations. You know, Jay already kind of does that. And I think it's super cool that he has done that. And of course, on our trips, if we're on the way, we stopped off at the mall, the Stranger Things mall. I mean, of course, we couldn't go in because they were filming apparently, or something. I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but it's weird watching the show now and going, yeah, I basically stood where the camera is sitting right now. That's really cool. And the stuff like that is really, really sweet. But yeah, I'd have to do it with Jay, and I'm sure I'd be on his channel, and that'd be fine. I think that'd be cool. Is there a season 2? Oh, yeah, Rings of Power and Wheel of Time. Yeah, Wheel of Time is filming, I think, right now, and I think Rings of Power is. I think the thing was it's going to be a long time before Rings of Power films, but yeah, they're doing it. They finished 10th in original streaming series. That's pretty bad considering how much they advertise that crap. And here's the thing. I get it. I get when people say, oh man, it's absolute crap. It shouldn't be blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into that. And I know that there's going to be, you have to understand that when I'm doing a review or if I'm telling you about something, I'm going to have a softer take on a lot of stuff because I know how much work goes into making a movie, making a show, making anything. There's a lot of work involved. And you have to give credit where credit's due. That's why I like Rise of Skywalker. Don't like that movie. But you know what? The main problem was with the screenwriter and with any sort of meddling that came from up on high. From what I know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough. But hearing that J.J. Abrams was actually mad because they recut scenes, I was like, this is not the movie that I made. And then hearing the absolute crap that the screenwriter was talking, that's my problem. But all those people that worked so hard, like again, watching the special features and you watch the making of it, I'm like, man, I really wish I could watch the movie that they seem to be having such a good time making, because everybody just seemed to be having a great time. It's weird, but that's always going to be the case with me, because even Rings of Power, there are things that I do not like about that show. I still look at it and I go, man, somebody worked really, really hard on that shot. Compositing that. Somebody worked really, really hard. They put in long hours to make that look as good as it does. And yeah, the story is failing a little bit, but that looks awesome. And I have to give credit for that. You know what I mean? What about that new book about the fall of Numenor? That is down there on the end. I have it. But that is a compilation of stuff that's already been made available. A lot of it is in Unfinished Tales, which is behind The Hobbit right here. This blue, kind of light blue book. A lot of it is in there, and then some of it is in The Lost Road, which I've already read the portion of, because it's called The Lost Road and Other Writings. The Lost Road I've already read, and it's not even that much. It's a fragment of a story, an unfinished story about time travel, which is really kind of a cool idea. And I'm kind of bummed out he never finished it. But then again, he didn't finish it, a lot of it. But yeah, so most of what's in The Fall of Numenor has been in a lot of these other books. What's going to be cool about reading Fall of Numenor when I get to it is it's going to be a compilation of all those things all together. And that's going to be cool to read. I'm talking way too much. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. It's a talk show. And I'm the only one that can talk. All right. Isn't there a new animated series coming out about the Riders of Rohan? Yes, called the something of the Rohirrim. War of the Rohirrim or something like that. What is it? Animated series. The War of the Rohirrim. Oh. Gets a release date as of a year ago. So we probably covered it on this here show. There you go. War of the Rohirrim anime features set for April 2024, released by Warner Brothers. There you go. So there's that. So yeah, it is coming. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. People got sick playing Dead Space in the 0G sections. Yeah, I'll tell you that I've always been good on boats though, but this is the biggest boat I'd ever been on. I mean, this is a huge freaking cruise ship. There's a difference to the feeling. There's a almost weightless feeling to it. And it was really cool eating in the dining room while you had a little bit of that, and you could watch as you're sitting there eating. You'd have no problems. You know, it's not like, the movies where things are rolled off the table and stuff, but you can just sit there and watch your water level, it's kind of neat. It's a cool experience. But anyway, I really want to go on another cruise, but we spent this was an Alaskan cruise, which is one of the most expensive cruises that you can go on. We had no business starting out our cruise ship, whatever, journeys, the start of our cruise ship, whatever. We're going to go on another one, I'm sure, at some point. But yeah, we had no business starting on the one that everyone says is the best one. So now everything we do afterward, we're going to compare to that one. And it was amazing. Alaskan cruise is amazing. Seeing glaciers, seriously, in person, like there they are, and we're moving the boat through, and the whole time I'm thinking Titanic. It was awesome, awesome. 2005 is when we did that. Amazing stuff. Rings of Power season 2 expected to be released in 2024. Yep. They get disoriented and can't find the floor from the ground or the door out of the chambers. Oh, I totally get it. Maybe Rings of Power will course correct. Seems Picard has. Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you watch that show, the Echo Base, when I was on there with Robert Meyer Burnett, he went on and on about it, and he's been doing it ever since. He went on and on about how good Picard season 3 is. And if you're a fan of the Next Generation Star Trek, this is like a continuation, like a sequel series to that. And that it's every bit as good, and it's amazing stuff. I'm actually really wanting to see it, even though I was never a big fan of Next Generation. I was never a fan of Star Trek, period. But I'm willing to give it a shot. There was supposed to be a bunch of rocks floating behind Luke when Rey shows up at the end of Force Awakens. That's true. That's true. And Ryan told him, "Hey, knock that off, please. Don't do that." I have a reason for him being there. That's not just, oh, I don't know what to do with Luke, so I'm just going to put him on an island and put him at the end of the movie so the next director can figure it out. Yeah, I figured it out, so don't do that. I'm saying that with a little bit of stank on it, but I feel like there was a little bit of friction between JJ's view of what Star Wars was and what Ryan's was. And I don't care what anybody says. I think Ryan had the better, I think he had the better movie. So, there you go. What if the director for RRR had $1 billion budget to make an epic 10-episode miniseries? I've heard there could be an RRR 2. Yeah, he's got some ideas. Apparently he said his dad's working on it. I don't know if, again, that's the thing, Magnus. Budget can only get you so far. There have been some absolutely amazing high budget movies and some really bad ones. There's been some really awesome low budget movies and really bad ones. It's all about the story. It's about the execution, and it's about how you take that money and get it working for you. You know, there's been some amazing low budget movies that have made so much more money than really, really high budget movies. So I don't think that's really the thing to think about. It's what if you gave S.S. Rajamouli plenty of money to make something? What would he make? You know, basically say, give me something. And don't worry about budget. Just write something. What, you know? And then we can sit down and talk about how feasible is this, and how feasible can we make it with whatever budget. That's really the better way to do it. And really, any writer, when they're writing something, give you a little glimpse. When I'm writing my the screenplay I'm writing right now, I am not concerned about budget at all. Now, I'm still thinking, yeah, we're probably going to film it in a few different locations, but for the most part, I'm not thinking about how hard it's going to be to set up. I'm not thinking about whether it makes sense to have this character in this scene or not. Or let's introduce 4 more characters right here. Doesn't make sense for a lower budget movie to have so many characters, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'm sure we'll pare it down later, but right now that's not what I'm concerned with. The writer isn't concerned about budget. The writer is concerned about telling a good story. And as long as that is first and foremost, it's cool. Is Picard still an android? I know nothing about Picard. And yeah, I heard there was some weird crap happening in season 2. Not a fan of any of the sequel trilogy, and that's a hard thing for me to say considering how much Star Wars has been a part of my life. And I totally understand it. Totally understand it. And it's weird how, like, you sound like we're pretty close as far as like what we feel about Star Wars pre-Disney. I mean, I could be completely wrong about that though. You know, like I'm not tied to Legends, the Legends stuff at all. Post Return of the Jedi, the only God, man, the way that my tailbone sits on this chair, it sucks. Anyway, I read Dark Empire, the comic, graphic novel. I read Timothy Zahn's trilogy. And that's it. Because after I read the Timothy Zahn trilogy, I'm like, this feels like fan fiction. And then George Lucas said, hey, guess what? All that stuff you're reading, it's fine. They're playing in my sandbox. But to me, that's fan fiction, and it doesn't mean that I'm tied to it at all. Which gave me the out to say, well, I didn't really enjoy the trilogy that much anyway. I'm just not going to read it. So I didn't. I stopped paying attention to all that. Shadows of the Empire, I took none of that stuff seriously. Anything that was outside of Lucas himself doing it, I didn't take it seriously and didn't take it to heart. When Luke was doing all kinds of crazy shit, I was like, this isn't my Luke. This is somebody else's version of Luke. This is not, I don't care. Oh, the New Order and Mara Jade. None of it. I didn't believe any of it. Didn't like any of it. So when people say that they were tied to that, I'm like, you're tied, in my opinion, just from my point of view, you were tied to something that no one was tied to. So yeah, the prequels came out and changed a lot of stuff. It took a couple things, but for the most part, the prequels existed on their own. All the Knights of the Old Republic, all that stuff. It's nothing to do with the actual Star Wars story, the actual canon Star Wars. So when I heard that they were wiping it all out, I was like, good, I didn't care about it anyway. Didn't matter. It never mattered to me. What mattered to me is the heart of the story. George Lucas's story. You know what I'm saying? And then, as Wraith rightly says, they lost their way. I don't think that any of them set out to make a bad movie. I think 7 came out, did what it did. I think there was a lot of, I feel like we could have done a little more. This feels a little too much nostalgia bait, and it's a lot like A New Hope, only it's with a girl. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not 100% for us here. And then they read The Last Jedi and they go insane. Lucasfilm absolutely goes insane. They think it's an amazing piece of work, and they think it's so good that they immediately greenlight another trilogy for Rian Johnson. People forget that. People forget that before The Last Jedi came out, Lucasfilm was in the Rian Johnson business. And then the movie came out. And apparently the right people at Lucasfilm started reading Reddit and got really upset and then said, okay, well, we need to course correct, which is not the way to tell a story. I'm sorry. People that didn't like Last Jedi should not have controlled where the next movie went. It doesn't make sense. You take that story and you make it make sense. Some of the stuff that was like, but wait a minute, that seems like a contradiction to the previous movie. Yeah. You've got the bad guy telling the main character this. It could be a lie, or it could be absolutely true. The point is, I feel like there was plenty of room to go. But I totally get it. When they get to the Rise of Skywalker and they said, we're taking Trevorrow's script, we're throwing it in the trash. We're not going to do that. Let's see what we can do here. And then you've got, again, the screenwriter that will not be named. I have nothing against the guy. I don't like the matter-of-factly, oh my God, I wrote such an amazing script attitude that he has. Because it wasn't amazing. Whenever you have a person shows up on a planet and immediately holds up a thing that lines up with something that could have been there for however many years and could have been eroded by water and all sorts of things, and yet it perfectly matches it. Come on, really? Really? She immediately stood in the right spot? Oh, it's the Force. Okay, whatever. Dumb. I'm sorry. And there's all the retconning of stuff from episode 8. Just the whole thing's a mess. It completely, Rise of Skywalker made me not want to watch any of it. Which is a shame because I really liked all the characters. There's nobody in there that I disliked. Including Rey, including Poe, including Finn. I liked all of them. And I really liked Kylo Ren. I liked I loved all of it. And I was really looking forward to Rise of Skywalker because I was thinking they're going to come out and they're going to make all these people that are talking bad about The Last Jedi, it's going to be exactly the same as Return of the Jedi. Where it's going to make sense. Empire pissed people off. People forget that. Empire was like, Darth Vader's lying. There's no way. There's no way that he's Luke's dad. There's no way. There's no way. They made it make sense. And it put into context everything that came before. All the things. It ended on a sour note. Just like The Last Jedi ended on a pretty sour note. Except for the Broom Boy. Which I thought was genius. Because I felt like I'm sitting there watching. I'm going, holy crap, that's me. That's me. That's wish fulfillment. That's who I wished I could be in the Star Wars universe. And holy crap, he's got the Force, doesn't know it, doesn't realize what he's doing. Beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. People don't agree. But there you go. You need a cushion. That's what I use. It helps. This is really seriously good cushioning. It's just the way that this chair is not great. For being however much it was pretty expensive. It's not great. But yeah, you're right. To me, Rise of Skywalker completely negated any love that I have for any of the story really that came before, including The Last Jedi, which pains me to say it because I liked a lot of it. But knowing that it goes nowhere, it's taken my complete love out of it because it ends in such a poopy way, which again, I even know some of the people that worked on it. And that hurts me to say, but it's not their fault. I can look at those movies and say those are beautifully made movies. They're beautifully made. Even J.J. Abrams stuff, beautifully made. Unfortunately, the story let him down. So I always understood that it was separate, and I was good with that. They were scared. Yeah. You can't go back and rewrite canon. Making things canon has no meaning then. I mean, if that's, well, they know they've screwed up though. And luckily we've got some people in there that are putting things back on track, I think. Hopefully. And again, a lot of those websites or YouTubers out there, they blame Kathleen Kennedy for all of it because they saw her wear a shirt that says the Force is female and they hate her for it. But that's not how studios work. She's basically the producer. That's why they hired her. Best producer on the planet, according to Steven Spielberg. She wasn't making those calls. I think Bob Iger was making those calls, which scares me that he's back. Even though I like Bob Iger for the most part. It was Bob Iger that made those decisions. It was Bob Iger that put the Rise of Skywalker on the path it was. It was Bob Iger that made Solo, that screwed up the entire marketing of Solo to where there were Star Wars fans in the world that didn't even know it was coming out. And then the Last Jedi haters get to claim that as a victory. Yeah, we showed them. No. Disney botched that release so bad. In so many different ways. You should have given them 6 months. Have it released at the end of the year, traditional Star Wars time. That movie would have probably done pretty well. And it's not a bad movie. That's what pisses me off even more. Anyway, Blah, 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 blah. Lucasfilm. Yeah. Star Wars. I gotta get out of here. Yep, absolutely. They tried to make their money back so quick that they didn't stop to think about. It was more about how much can we milk out of this as quickly as possible instead of what's going to be an enduring and endearing story. What's a story that we can tell that will not only be good for the short term, but will keep us going in the long term. That's the main problem. They weren't thinking long term at all. They were thinking short term. That's why they didn't have a plan to begin with. They think, oh, J.J. Abrams, he's hot. Let's get him in here. They get Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill back. Don't even put them in a scene together. I mean, there's a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And the only reason that Luke was basically taken out of the movie and put at the very, very end is because J.J. Abrams didn't know what to do with him because Luke took over the script at that point. It took over the audience's attention. To me, it's an extreme lack of imagination. And you could do everything. You could take out the bullet points, you know? Luke is, I mean, seriously, even the stuff that people don't like Luke being a failed master, right? And being on an island by himself. The Kylo Ren stuff. I'm telling you, that Kylo Ren stuff where people go nuts. Oh, he tried to kill him. You believe. That's the whole point. Is there's three different points of view. There's three different points of view. There's the version that the version that Luke Skywalker would have liked to have happened, or tries to get him to think how it happened. There's Kylo Ren's view of it, and then there's what actually happened. Turning on a lightsaber is much different than going to kill somebody. It drives me insane that people keep saying that. You're completely off base. Luke wasn't going to kill him. He's seeing the death and destruction of millions of people. Yeah, he's going to light his lightsaber it's a reaction. I've got to stop this. Not thinking, this is my nephew. This is my sister's son. All of those things. I just, drives me nuts. Anyway, why are we talking Star Wars again? Same. Truth is, I love Star Wars and I love bits and pieces of the sequel trilogy, but overall, yeah. There you go. Ted's got it. And that's exactly what should have happened. This is where we started. This is where we want to end. Let the writers take us on the trip. Didn't happen. Yep. Just wanted one scene. When you drove home from Rise of Skywalker, what was going through your mind? Was it a tough night? I was immediately angry. When I saw Rey basically holding on to the ship taking off, I went, that's the kind of crap that I don't. Yeah, of course, it's all in your mind, right? Yoda says it. Size matters not, right? But seeing that was just like, this is that overpowered Jedi bullshit that I hate. They're not superheroes. They're literally monks with a little bit of levitation and a little bit of help, but they're not superheroes. Quit that shit. And then all the electricity comes out and I went, they're doing it. They're freaking doing it. I can't believe they're doing it. I can't believe they're doing it. I can't believe they're making her related to Palpatine. It irritated me so. Well, it actually irritated me more than that. As soon as I realized that Palpatine was a clone and it wasn't just a voice that was haunting the Death Star, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that the trailers were, they're really kind of bringing up this Palpatine stuff. Oh, he's probably just haunting the Death Star when she goes in there. Remember the trailer with her and with the red lightsaber and all that? And I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool. He's going to be haunting, and he's basically made that place a powerful dark side area, you know? That's what we're going to see. It's going to be like the cave on The Empire Strikes Back all over again. Okay, I buy that. That's cool. No, he's there. And I'm like immediately going, you didn't even go watch it in the theaters? I blame the story group more than Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think it's the story group's fault. Again, they broke their own rules. J.J. Abrams overwrote some of his own movie. They literally said, do whatever you have to do to get them back. It's probably what Bob Iger said to them. Do whatever you have to do. Don't worry about the story group and whatever. The story group was basically, you guys aren't involved anymore. You guys led us down this path. No, it's not the story group. That's just my opinion. I think the story group had a lot of good ideas to begin with, and they weren't allowed to do their job. That's the way I look at it. Bob Iger trumped all that. No pun intended. Any truth to the rumor that Disney might sell Star Wars? I mean, I'm never going to say never, but I seriously doubt it. Again, we can look at the sequel trilogy and get really like upset about it, but the truth is each one of them made over $1 billion. Oh yeah, the first one made the most. That's always what happens. If you look at you look at the first movie in each trilogy, the first movie makes the most. Second movie makes less. Third movie makes the least. Always happens. I'm not worried about that, and I guarantee you they're not looking at it like that. And you've got Mandalorian, you've got Andor. There's no way I mean, again, it could be anything, but I don't think they're selling it. That's just me. I could care less if Chapek was in charge, but I don't think Iger was a good choice to bring back. Iger was probably like, we need to get back to some wins. Chapek didn't give him any wins. The only thing JJ knows how to do is change things 20%. The thing is, JJ has great ideas. He just doesn't know how to end anything. And that's, I mean, he literally looks up to Stephen King so much, he's taken on some of his worst attributes, which is come up with really compelling, like interesting stories and then have no idea where to go with them. That's why some of his best stuff is the stuff that he didn't touch after you created it. Fringe, fantastic show. Absolutely beautiful show. If you haven't seen Fringe, that's a great show. It's created by J.J. Abrams. Ended by someone else. Ended great. We weren't really shown what actually happened, did we? That's my fault. I'm not sure what you mean. The worst part was that in the opening crawl, it said Palpatine has announced his return throughout the galaxy. Found out the message did exist, but you had to play Fortnite to hear it. It was exclusive to the game. Yes. We're trying to get the kids in there. They won't come close to getting what they paid for it now if they sell it. I mean, I don't know. All they have to do is look at the amount of revenue that was generated from the movies. All the movies, seriously. Solo was the only failure in all of them. Billions of dollars that the sequel trilogy made. And then you look at I'm sure they have data on the number of impressions and hours watched and all that stuff of The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, even the Obi-Wan and Andor. All of that stuff is crazy. Oh, the Star Wars talk is my fault. Nah, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's fun. But yes, Apple or Amazon could buy it, but that doesn't mean they're going to sell it. Now, is it possible? Absolutely. Anything's possible. I just don't see why they would. When ever since the Rise of Skywalker, they've had, I mean, look, you might not like Obi-Wan as much as some other people. Like, I don't really care for Obi-Wan that much. There was some great stuff in it, but it was overall kind of meh. But it did really well for them. They've had success after success after success ever since Rise of Skywalker. which also made $1 billion. So I don't think they're looking at it the same way that a lot of fans are. You know what I mean? The idea of Disney selling the gold mine of Star Wars is a joke. That was not a serious question. It's absolutely a serious question. Everything's on the table when it comes to business. And there are probably situations where they might think, what if we did this? What if we did this? How much money could we make? And I'll also say that the idea that after Indiana Jones 5, the fact that the possibility that Kathleen Kennedy might be leaving opens a lot of different doors. A lot of different doors. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I like Kathleen Kennedy, I really hope if they do replace her, which a lot of people are saying that they are, if they do replace her, they do similar the way what they did with DC, the DC Studios thing. You hire somebody that's really, really good at world building and at character building and stories, and you get a financial master producer guy. So you get the best of the business world and you get the best of the creative world, and you make them co-heads. Because that's the problem with a lot of studio people. And the idea of somebody like Kevin Feige is he's been learning all the business stuff, his whole career. But he's also a super fan. The chances of finding a Kevin Feige for Star Wars is possible, yes. But it makes more sense to do, let's get 2 people for this. You got to have somebody who can talk to the studio and tell them, hey, just let it go. Let them do their thing. I guarantee you, I know Colin Trevorrow's he's had some stinkers. Okay? But of the script that I saw, I could see a better, more fulfilling story than anything we got in Rise of Skywalker. I saw a more fulfilling story. Now, could he have pulled it off? I mean, who knows? It would have been nice if you had somebody stronger. And maybe that's not the right word. Kathleen Kennedy's a pretty formidable, producer in the world of movie making. But if somebody was able to look, we got this. Don't worry. Yeah, but they hate The Last Jedi. Don't worry. They hated The Empire Strikes Back too. People hated it. Just let us do our thing. You hired us because we know our thing. Let us do our thing. To me, The Rise of Skywalker stinks of corporate meddling. So yeah. They did show what actually happened between Luke and Ben, just their 2 versions. Right, but that's the thing though. No. Ben's version was him on the attack. Excuse me. Sorry. Luke never went on the attack. Luke turned on his lightsaber. Now, granted, if you're sitting there, you wake up and your uncle is holding a lightsaber, you might freak out and say, oh my God, he's trying to attack me. But that's not actually what happened. Luke turned on his lightsaber in a moment of reactions to seeing millions of people in terror and death and destruction. That's my main problem with that whole scene, is that you should have gotten a glimpse. If we were able to see what Luke was seeing, we might maybe understand that, oh my God, he overreacted and turned on his lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? You spoke in Yoda just now. Billions of dollars those movies have made. Hey, it's been a long show. Ninjinzu Games, welcome back. I still have not seen Andor. I really like Mando, and I did like the Book of Boba Fett. I think Andor would probably be worth a watch. Absolutely not, Gary. Absolutely. Just, again, no matter what you think of Rogue One, those first 3 episodes are, to me, should be watched together. It's why they were released together. Because I think on their own, they're not fantastic. But if you think of them like a movie, like this is the first of the movie, or the first movie in a like 4 movies or 3 movies, however many there is, watch it like that. Watch those first 3 episodes together. And then get into 4, 5, and 6. And then, to me, it gets better. It's like every movie gets better until you get to the end and you're like, this was really cool. And I really like seeing the inner workings of the Empire and stuff like that. So I say watch it. Yeah. I'd like to see Favreau take over, but I'm not sure he wants the job. Andor is really good. It's just slow for a Star Wars show at the beginning. And I guess you're right, but I really enjoyed it. And Favreau, that's the thing about Favreau. He's a good creative. Is he a good producer? We don't know that. Is he a good somebody that can interface with the studios? Because that to me is what Kathleen Kennedy's job is. I could be completely wrong, but I have never seen her as anything but a producer level role. And the idea that, oh, she doesn't like Star Wars. She doesn't even like Star Wars. No, it's not that. She knows good stories. And it's why she put somebody like Tony Gilroy in charge of Andor, which is genius. Somebody who doesn't care about Star Wars has made, in my opinion, one of the best Star Wars property things since Empire. So, again, this DC Studios route is, I mean, I know that people are really attached to, Cavill and whatever, but I feel like that move is really, really smart because you need somebody who's really, really good with the business part of making movies. And then you need somebody really, really good at being the creative part of movies. And you get the best of both worlds if you have 2 people doing it and you can share that power. It's awesome. I think it's a great idea. Great idea. Bob Iger, do it. DC, look, you can say whatever you want, but Warner Brothers over there, they're leading the way on that. I think it's a great idea. I'm okay with slow as long as I actually care about what's going on. That Mike uppercut deserves a toasty. Yeah. Oh, toasty. Sorry, I was late. Ryan Johnson didn't do a good job at conveying that. See, and that's, I get what you're saying, but he's also, and this is one of those things where you might go, really? We're supposed to have watched another movie, that's not in the Star Wars universe, but Star Wars is really heavily pulls on Kurosawa, right? And if you've seen the movie Rashomon is exactly that scene where it's the same thing that happened from 3 different points of view. And so as soon as I saw the second one where I'm seeing it from Kylo Ren's point of view, I'm like, seriously, I was immediately like, okay, I love that you're taking Lucas's love of Kurosawa and you're bringing it into a new story. I was like, I like this, but I don't know if people really get that. And you're right. It probably wasn't done as well as it could, but for me, it hit right away because I knew exactly what it was. I'm like, oh, so we saw one version of it. We're going to see another version of it. And then we're going to see the truth. And the truth was he's got his hand out. It's literally like this. And he turns it on like he's scared. And then he's like, oh my God, I turned on the lightsaber. And then realizes, oh, he's awake. Oh, he's going for his lightsaber. Oh God, no, wait, stop. You know what I mean? And it's a moment of weakness. And it's why Luke feels so bad. Dude, I get chills just thinking about it because I love that. I love how tragic it is. It's very Shakespearean, but it's also pulling from that Kurosawa that I love so much, that I own. I don't remember where it is. I don't know if it's in here or in there, but I love Rashomon because of that. It's such a cool story. And seeing the same thing happen from 3 different points of view, and neither one is the truth until you get to the end. And then you see it and you go, I can see why they lied about that. Oh, I can see why they lied about that. And in this case, Luke basically sugarcoats his first version. Oh yeah, I just went in there to check to see how he was doing, and he attacked me. And that's not really what happened. You know what I mean? But Carbonite, I totally get it. I totally get it. Rogue One is oh, you said Rouge One, the makeup. Spelling matters. Rogue One was one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Yeah. I actually really like Rogue One. It's a fun watch, dang it. And that's the thing. I like Rogue One. But it's my second least favorite of the Disney era. And it's just because I don't care about the characters very much. Story's pretty good. Okay. It never really catches on. Like, it's kind of like an engine that's slipping gears, and then finally it kicks on. It kicked on when the Battle of Scarif started. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it slips a couple of gears when Vader never confronts our main protagonists. It's kind of, to me, it's anticlimactic. And that's the thing. People love that scene. I get it. It's Vader. The problem is the surprise is ruined because we already saw him. We already knew he's in the movie. When's Vader coming back? That's the whole thing that you're doing the whole time the Battle of Scarif is going on. Okay, where's Vader? Vader's got to come in here and clean house, right? When's he coming? Oh, he's finally coming at the very, very end. Okay. Oh, okay. They're doing the... Okay, so he does the thing and he's the Force and... Okay. Okay, that's okay. It's all right. That's how I feel about it. That's literally almost like a play-by-play of my thoughts watching the movie. Is the whole Battle of Scarif of going, okay, when's Vader coming? Vader's got to be coming up. He's coming up. I know he's coming up. What's going to happen? So it wasn't a surprise. And it was just like, damn, man. It's all about seeing Vader doing sweet Force stuff with updated CGI effects. That was just so cool to see. And I totally agree with you. Very cool. But they didn't go far enough. And I don't mean like violence and all that stuff. I'm saying he literally does cooler stuff in Rebels. They've already shown him doing like crazy, like not crazy, but super cool stuff in Rebels. And I don't think what he did in Rogue One was anything special compared to what I saw him do in Rebels. So that was kind of a bummer, you know? It was like, oh, all right. I mean, it was cool. And then when you hear, oh yeah, all that was done like at the last minute. Like they filmed that like really close to the end. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was kind of a last minute decision. Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. It wasn't thought out. It was just, hey, Vader does some cool shit in the hallway. Cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know. I'm very in the minority about that. I get it. But, and the thing is I love Vader. I mean, honestly, it's obvious that I love Vader, right? I mean, I have that cool Vader statue. I love Darth Vader. Second best villain in the history of movies. Yeah, love Vader. The problem is, I've loved Vader my whole life, and I've imagined shit way better than that. And I saw him do shit better than that. That's the thing. I saw him say stuff that was like, oh my God, that's some chilling stuff in comics. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. When he's surrounded by all the rebels. Oh, dude, come on. That's the Vader I wanted to see. And he just kind of, I mean, I get it. It's cool. But I've seen cooler. I'm just saying. I enjoyed Solo. Me too. I think it was much better than it had every right to be. For a movie that was hodgepodge together, I found it really enjoyable. Yeah, there are parts that are dumb. Oh, so you're by yourself. Your name's Solo. Okay. But there's a lot of cool in that movie too. And sure, yeah, okay, everything cool that happened that Han Solo's known for happened in, over a weekend. I don't care. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I loved Woody Harrelson's character. Creature Commandos looks interesting. It does. It does look cool. Dude, we're almost gone 4 hours. It's time for me to go. And I've got a pee-pee. So let me finish this up. Okay, on my way home, Ricky, be careful there. Got caught slipping gears. That's right. And yeah, like I said, I'm just saying Vader was badass. I'm just saying that they didn't go far enough. They didn't. For those of us who have loved Vader, I mean, literally since I was able to think, I see, Vader was one of my first actual memories, I just don't feel like you did enough. And I hate it when movies blow their load. And let's be honest, having him at that scene with Krennic, they blew their load. They blew his load too early. I mean, how cool would it have been if you had no idea? I mean, kind of in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I know Vader's around somewhere, right? Where's Vader? And the first thing you see is him igniting that lightsaber at the end of the hall. Come on. I do like the music though, because the music makes it sound like a horror movie and it's really cool. Again, there are things I like about it. Almost 4 hours. This has flown by. Ted, seriously, you guys always like chilling and hanging out. I appreciate it. I love doing this. I do. I wouldn't do it otherwise. Honestly, I couldn't do it if you guys weren't here. So I really, really appreciate it. Night all. Good stream, Rob. Carb Night, thank you. Just stream till midnight. No. I gotta go. When's the next chat? I've actually been thinking about that. I was thinking about sometime this weekend, but I have to get with the wife and figure out when. She's got some things planned, so I've got to figure that out. But we'll talk soon. So you guys in the Discord, if you're still here, you're probably already on the Discord. But if you're not, watch the Discord. We're gonna here. Let me do this. We're gonna try to figure something out this weekend. So either we might have to do another Friday night again, depending on whatever. But I was thinking maybe like Saturday afternoon. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for being here. I enjoyed doing it. I always do. And I love that you guys are here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I already said that. And we'll talk soon and stuff. What's the Discord name? Still don't understand it, but I'll try. I just put Nightbot actually put a link. It's right there. The link is there. So if you want to join and be a part, well, basically it's kind of like a Zoom room, but we were all just sitting and chatting and just shooting the shit for like 3 hours. It was fun. It was really, really fun. So let's do that. Let's try to do that because it's already been like 2 weeks, right? 2.5 weeks. But you guys have a great night. We'll talk soon. Bye. Oh, I need to hit the button here. Yeah, that's how this works. Bye.